Males, ya beledi. Tomorrow we pray. Refugee, running away from your own country. You're feeling hungry and scared. You don't know what tomorrow will
We say sorry for the pain and the tears on your breath. We say sorry for indiscipline, crime, injustice and discrimination.
I will come, hey, Kuan, Galate Pitana, hey, Kuan, Udunga Kuan, Pinikachaben, Wabata Kujitai, Yabelegi. We are saying sorry. There's nothing wrong with my road. When you've gone out in the streets, there's nothing wrong with my road. That's my as Malaysia. Yo me quiere ya su kerbi por abu mutu umma mutu tabi kebir Malesh ya junubin tarif salam tarif muhabba ayana.
Please comment. Just a moment.
Before you make another mother cry, please don't cry. Before you make another blood to run, please don't cry. Please don't cry. We raise our voices for peace. We raise our voices for peace.
Do I have to show you let you know I feel the pain? Do you see my feelings? Tell me
We need peace desperately in order to achieve a bloodshed-free 27 Before you make another mother cry, please don't cry. Before you make another blood to run, please don't cry. Please don't cry.
You can go ahead. Or should
Welcome
I
to
play more songs?
welcome to Nal Nation Networks. Uh, uh, the all viewers who are online and those who didn't come yet, welcome on Nal Nation Networks. Uh, Today, our topic, as you all seen here, uh, is the weakness of the government institution in South Sudan lead the abuse of South Sudanese people in Egypt and elsewhere. So this is the topic for today that everybody coming in will come and put what he knows and contribute on all this. And this is the painful things that we need to do. And I also too, I will say welcome to our brothers William Goldit and our brothers Simon and myself. Brother Pan is on the way. Sister Jojo is on the way. Brother Ozo is on the way. But we are on the top reporting for now. So now I will yield back to brothers William. Welcome, William.
Yeah, thank you, Brother Mabor, and greeting to our viewer, and thank you, Brother Simon, and we also greet our brother and sister who are on the way to join us. Today is 22 May 2021. So I don't have much for highlight today, but I have two very simple and very direct. One is from Radio Tamazic. هو بقول إني الرئيس Salva Kiir who revokes the appointment اللي هو تعيين للعضو برلمان ما يسمى Kuru over nationality issues. So she is a Ugandan and she was appointed to the parliament of Southern Sudan. So President Salva Kiir revoked the appointment. And other last one is very unfortunate too, that there are 600, that is from Nyamelphidia, there are 600,000 Sudanese convicted set for deportation to Juba from Khartoum. الهو 600 الناس اللي حكم عليهم واللي تم إعدامهم في الشمال اللي هو في شمال السودان بخرطوم هما يتم ترحيلهم إلى جوبا اللي هو 600 من جنوب السودان فدل ما يكون للآيلايت. أما موضوع بتاعنا اليوم هو موضوع مش كويس أساسا، لأنه نحن بنتكلم عن الضعف المؤسسات بتاع حكومة بتاع جنوب السودان حتى إلى إساءة للشعب جنوب السودان في مصر. نحن كده نشوف وين مكان بتاعنا هون في هذه الدنيا، وين مكان بتاعنا كبشر وحنانه. إذا إني شعب جنوب السودان وين ما يكون هو ضحايا في إهانة كتيرة جدا. في فيلم أنا شفته قبل أيام وجداد كان في ايجل جاء عشان اختطف التشيكس، فأمه كان بعيد، اللي هو الهاندز كان بعيد، وكده قام فوق ماشي لحق الايجل ده ونزلها تحت وقتلها، قتله فورا. يعني هجوم عنيف جدا. ليه؟ لأنه هيدا eagle is taking the child of the chicken or hen. ده العيوان البسيطة، لأنه في مسؤولية. الطفل إذا أنت اللي جبته بالدنيا وأنت المسؤول عنه، فأنت كده قارن الشيكن مع المواطن الجنوبي. فما هو السبب؟ إهانة. هل هو أننا جنوبين يعني مش قويين والمش بشر والما عندنا غيم؟ أكيد عندنا غيم، أننا بشر وننا قويين. لو ما قويين ما كنا وقفنا في قدام وش التداعيات العاصل للجنوب السودان من العرب، تركي، Ottoman Empire and then English، والأخيرا مع الأخوان في شمال السودان. وده يثبت إن الشعب الجنوب ما شاف سهل. لكن شنو خلينا عين مثلا بيحملوا لنا بهيدا ما حمله؟ سبب شنو؟ عشان كده جبنا التوفيق ده اليوم، اللي هو is the weakness is a question is the weakness of the government institution in South Sudan led to the abuse of the Southern Sudanese people in Egypt. ده السؤال اللي هنا اليوم بنتكلم فوق. الداير يجي يضم معنا الكلام ده بدور على السؤال ده. أي إنسان he want to contribute, he will contribute basic on this question. So نحن let me try a little bit to talk about the weak institutions and strong institutions. Allow me to do a brief introductions by starting with the strong institutions. اللي هو مؤسسات قوية. ما هو؟ شنو بخلي المؤسسة يكون قوية أو دولة يكون قوية؟ أنا بمفهومي أنا كويليام، واحد منه هو representative. representations مهم كتير في حكومة. and then responsibility اللي هو responsible government. and then accountable government. transparent government. democratic government. These 6 principles or 5 principles, they are very, very important, especially the people who are living in the West. Why are they very important? ليه؟ إن حكومة يكون حكومة ممثلة، حكومة يكون حكومة مسؤولة، يكون في شفافية، وحكومة يكون حكومة ديمقراطية. ليه؟ أننا شعب جنوب السودان أننا بنعرف الكلام ده. We know. أننا جايين من بلد معروف بالديمقراطية. Just take example from Danka. Let's say use Danka as example. I remember in a Nasna Maniago Tada Shijara. That is our parliament. And I observe it. إني الزول بكلم في واحد برفع كلام كميكروفون يرفع كلام ده الميكروفون ليه يوصل للشعب الموجود في this gathering. Because if we define the parliament who are a public place to discuss the public issues. So we have it in every village in southern Sudan. When we go under the tree ما في راجل بيكون قاعد في البيت كلنا نمشي تحت الشجرة ونتكلم في الكلام ده في قضايا كتير بناقشوا هناك. This is the parliament. So when the government is representative government, that means the community members, they are well represented in this government. And then when there is a representation and then come with the responsibility في مسؤولية لأنه ناس في المنطقة بتاعك القرية بتاعك الصغير ده الرسلوك ما رسلوه ساكت رسلوك عشان تكون عين بتاعه عشان تكون صوت بتاعه في المال اللي بسمع فوق ناس كتير وإنيا أنت مسؤولية ده المسؤولية أنت ماشي توصله وأنت في نفس الوقت بكون accountable to these people. They have right to correct you, they have right to move you or even not to elect you. And then transparency. We need إنه يكون في شفافية. ديمقراطية. تدل الجو هيدا under this environment we can create or provide the rule of law. We can imagine it. We can visualize. We can become more creative, inventive. We can invent things because our freedom is not under the siege. And then under this, we protect Emaya and we defend and we delegate the power and we sacrifice. This is what we can describe as a strong institutions, and we saw it in the West. But for Juba, Sudan, do we have it? I don't think we have it. We don't have it. So I will stop here, and if Mabor have something, he can come in or Simon, but I will ask Mabor or Simon to play the video, and then that video also can help us a little bit, because when we talk about the Southern Sudan, we not talking about the Southern Sudanese only. We're talking about the natures of person, of African person, that with our weak institutions اللي هو موجود في جنوب السودان فساد موجود كذب موجود corruption موجود nepotism موجود laziness موجود ناس ما شغالين انت تبيع البلد موجود. And then we are now doing what? We are enslaving ourselves. And I love the gentleman is going to talk here. He called He described this as a self-enslavement. And what I love from his speech is when he said, when African fought the colonial power, we know them, that they are there. We can say, these are the people, and we verse them. He is saying that was easier, كان سهل كتير. ولكن هلا, when we are enslaving ourselves, it's very difficult for us to get out because we don't know to point our finger on who. We don't know. So if possible, Mabor, maybe we can play the video and maybe we continue from there. And thank you.
Thank you, William. There is a thing that for the report that we're supposed to put first, and I thank you that for laying out all those. So we're giving a report for Bargadal and some report that someone who supposed to do this report, which is Jojo, she's not here today. So we will represent some report. In Greater Bargadal, in the report in Greater Bargadal, Leg State, there's a two cattle raidings happening, kill 5 people. One within the Leg State, those casualties between cattle raiding within Leg State by themselves, and another one between Leg State and Unity State, killed 5 people, and they blaming by the information, police information within Leg State, gave that report, and I quoted from Radio Tobazoy. And another one in Warab, there is school open, girls' school, and there's no sanitizing and all this, including the mask, cover mask. So they're facing a lot of situation for the health information sanitizing. That's another report. In Juba, the controversial social media, Mama Amira is hospitalized, supposed to go to court. He missed 2 court, and he's suspended not to move out from the country, but he hospitalized. He's in hospital. He failed to go to court twice, and he's prohibited not to move out from the country by Interior Minister's office directors. And that's another report. And the 4th one is the security arrangement. The head of JMAC really urging the government to put funds so at least they can do a graduation for the unified force. And he's disappointed for being working on that place and nothing worked. So, and he's urging the government to put funds so they can do that security arrangement. 5th is in Khartoum. The former Janjaweed commander who were in Darfur has been convicted by ICC, and he's going to face court on the 24th, which is Monday in the Western world, and Monday, which is Thursday in Africa. So he's going to face court on that. So those are reports. For those I did not get, so maybe our brother William can get more, and if not, then this is where I will stop from there. So here, The topic of today, like our brothers or sister, I don't know, have a name, Mr. Kamek. The topic is about, you see, is scrolling down there on the underground network here, so you can read it from there. It says the weakness of the government institution. Oh, what happened? Institutions abuse in South Sudan of the South Sudanese people in Egypt and elsewhere. Not only Egypt. Like you hear it from our brother William already mentioned that 600 South Sudanese have to be deported from Sudan. So 600. So what kind of crime that 600 done? This is the thing that people should take a look for. Yes, we do give thanks for Sudan for giving a company to our people, but 600, what crime they did? So this kind of abuse is always in our back as a South Sudanese. But it's become too much in Egypt, and it become too much in Kenya, that ending to that they always ending people over to be here in South Sudan. So it become too much in those two countries. But the case, what is the cost of 600 to be deported to South Sudan? So it's something that people should take a look for. So I think Brother Simon will come and play the video, because I don't have the video with me, and I believe he's coming, so he can come and play the video. And
I expect that those of you who are African, when you saw this program and the title of my presentation, if you want to call it that, got apprehensive. And I can quite understand why you'd get apprehensive. I also went through a lot of self-examination, because I was aware that what I was proposing to speak about would be considered as washing dirty laundry in public. So I was also concerned, but at the end, I decided that the cost to our continent for hiding this dirty laundry in the closet is too high, and that we had better start confronting that reality. So I want to take you through my perception of what's going on. Why are we in the modern world enslaving ourselves? What are the characteristics that lead to this? My experience of my continent, and maybe I need to upfront tell you that I'm Zimbabwean, and I suppose that from everything you've heard and read about, Zimbabwe tends to be on the extreme of the problem countries on our continent. But I dare say that I don't think Zimbabwe is in that box on its own. True, not all African countries are in that extreme, but I would suggest to you that the majority of African countries display what I'm going to tell you. Most of our countries, in the way they are administered, the way they run their affairs, are full of nepotism, full of patronage, and these two things lead to lack of meritocracy in the administration of our public lives. And lack of meritocracy automatically also, unfortunately, leads to lack of performance management. So this is a characterization, but more importantly, we need to start looking through or looking at how the world experiences us and then reacts to that experience. So as the world experiences us, as we send people out there in the world, in particular through the public sector, through diplomacy, through the representatives we send to international organizations such as the World Bank, the IMF, the FDB, and the UN, what do they see? I have been to Washington. I worked at the World Bank, at IFC. I've been to Tunis. I worked in the AFDB. And I must hasten to point out, I was not an appointee or a nominee of my government. I went there independently. What the world experiences as we send these representatives out there are people who are lazy, people who are unimaginative, and totally uninnovative. Because these people are not sent there on the basis of deserving to be sent there. They are sent there because mostly they are related to whoever is running the country and whoever is part of the administration. That's how they make their way to these places. So the world experiences this. And naturally, as you know, action leads to reaction. How does the world, after experiencing us this way, then react? Unsurprisingly, they lose respect for us because we are not credible. We don't send credible representatives. They become patronizing. They stop listening to us because our voice is not worth listening to, especially as represented by the people we send. That's how the world experiences us and then reacts. Guess what follows then? Unfortunately, there is action and then reaction yet again. So we experiencing what I think is justified reaction from the world, then react to that reaction. How do we react? We feel ignored. We feel not respected. We externalize the effects on what is going on in our environment. We attribute everything that goes on in our space to the actions of other people. And in the process, what we are not aware of is that in that process, we're disempowering ourselves. Essentially, what we're saying is our space is managed by other people. Listen to any government. When you ask them questions about underperformance in their country, they will find an external reason every single time. It's because somebody has done this. It's because of colonization. It's because of slavery. It goes on and on and on. The truth is that it is easier to name countries that have never been colonized than those that have been colonized, because pretty well everybody has been colonized at one point or other. But isn't it surprising that it's only African countries that have stayed fixated on what the others have done wrongly to them, and they continue to use this as a reason for not moving on and managing their environment more successfully? So we then spend lots of money. Like I say, we send people to everywhere where we can send them. And what is fascinating is that we don't seem to have the intelligence to understand that actually we've got no voice. We can send lots of people to the UN, but they don't have a reason to listen to us. What they do, because of political correctness, is to humor us. They give us a space, they give us a chair, but they don't listen to us because we're not worth listening to. Because our contribution does not come from a point of credibility. If we're credible, the only way you get credible is to run your own space properly and successfully. There are no exceptions. If you look at the evolution of especially the Eastern countries, they are where they are today, and they've got a seat at the table because they've run their own countries successfully. Begrudgingly or otherwise, the world is accommodating them. The same path is going to have to be followed by us. But you may very well ask and say, but how does this all lead to self-enslavement, the most critical element about this problem is how our children experience the world we've created. Our children grow up seeing a space that is run totally incompetently. Look at our schools, look at our hospitals, look at our infrastructure. At every turn, what they experience is things that are not run properly. And we reinforce that by taking them when we need them to go to school and we can afford it. Where do we send them? We don't send them to our own institutions because we know they are not good. When our families fall sick, where do we send them? We cannot send them to our own institutions because we know they are not any good. So inadvertently, we are actually colonizing our own children in a manner that is much, much worse than anybody ever did. Because the perception we've created in their minds is that the world we run is not worth belonging to, because no good comes out of it. And if Fred is in the audience, please excuse me, Fred, understand I'm talking statistical significance. So institutions like the Africa Leadership, either academy or university or college, I think belong in a tiny, tiny minority. And I think the tragedy for me is that when I come to these institutions, I experience an interaction with amazing young people. Amazing. They're as good as you will find anywhere in the world. But guess what? They will never find a space in the countries that we run. They're not going to be accommodated there. As a result, they will end up going to sell their skills elsewhere. They will have no opportunity to build the countries that we need to be built. Lastly, so all of us, most Africans, come from a background of having been abused by a colonial system or slavery, if you like. But this issue, because it was external to us, was much easier to identify. And because it was easier to identify, we could actually come up with an antidote, if you like. We could deal with it, and that's why we are where we are today. The challenge we face is that self-enslavement is much more subtle because it's internal to us. And so it's easier for us to stay in the space of denial because it's not external, it's not easy to identify. It's more, we sort of we externalize the reasons and we stay in denial. As a result, the danger of us not fixing this is very high. It's not going to be as easy as fighting an external enemy. This is an internal enemy. And for me, we need now to really think through the issue of, do we want to have private conversations amongst ourselves and therefore conform to not washing our dirty laundry in public? Or is this sufficiently serious for us to make it a public issue? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mabor, you are mute. Okay.
Yeah, you can continue now, yes.
Okay, good. Yeah. The reason we play this video is very clear. It's the same, is related to the topic we are talking today. Self-enslavement and how we become a slave here. You know, you see what happened to our people in Egypt. They have been disrespected. ما في احترام خالص. مش احترام. يعني إهانة إني نحن مش بشر. فهذا شخصية كان يتكلم في الفيديو كلام واضح إن النتيجة بتاع حمالنا نينا أو طريقة نينا من الغيم كيف نينا نعمل تغييم لأنفسنا هو زاد يعبردوا علينا. لأنه when we are laying the foundation of our government, we need the people who are qualified to do the job. That's why I put it clear in the beginning that there is a need for representations. There is a need for responsible government. There is a need for accountability. There is a need for transparency. And there is a need for democracy. These are the principles for a strong government, where people, when we decide in appointing or electing people to run the public's institution, we're sending them for a duty. And when they perform well, we get a result and we get respected. But this guy is saying the people we send out to United Nations, to World Bank, or to outside world, there is no credibility. And you can see in Southern Sudan, you can go, the name is from one tribe, Majuk, Majak, Dang, whatever, name them. Just we seeing, no, Majaki didn't get, or Majoki didn't get, give him this, give him this. And then they go to be the face of Southern Sudan. How can they interact with other officials from other countries? They don't. And as this speaker put it clear, they are just because the system, if they are in the World Bank give everybody a right, or United Nations give everybody a right to have a chairs. The kursu bida Junuba Sudan. Okay, في مجوك هناك موجود هناك or malwal موجود هناك. It's okay. But هذا شخصي ما عنده أي qualification to be there. And they interact. He don't contribute. Because when they are sitting in a meeting room, there is a lot of deliberations talking about important thing for the world, or talking about a specific situation, let's say about Southern Sudan. And you as a Southern Sudanese government official sitting there, you don't even speak. How can you be respected? That's why these people, this guy is saying, we are being disrespected as a result or a lack of credibility of the people we appoint. Our people get beaten up, get sold out into slavery, or even many people that are kidnapped, and then their organs are being taken away alive as sold as a commodities. انت من وين؟ من جنوب السودان؟ لا، ما بتصبح شيء. فده المشكلة بتاع جنوب السودان اليوم. نحن كنا نتكلم في المقارنة شوية. هلا يمكن في شخص شارك البطاقة ومبارك، والقبيل في عائلة أنا ذكرتها، يعني بريزيدنت سالفا كير عمل denounce or revokes the appointment of a non-Sudanese citizens to be a MP. MP. We are now in Southern Sudan. Since the peace was signed in 2018, it took months now or years not to implement the peace because we scared of each other. If I have an MP coming from Nuer or coming from Shulu or coming from Danka or coming from Murle to go to the parliament, I don't want them. But it's more easier to appoint a foreigner. That is one thing now. I don't know. Maybe somebody leak this information out, and then the President Salva Kiir reacted to that. So another one is a Lebanese. I think uh, his name is just hold on a second. Work or no? No, we cannot do that. Okay. So ده بطاقة الهوية بتاع جنوب السودان. uh, Republic of South Sudan. And then family name is Ahmed, and then the last name is Amza Muhammad. Jinsia South Sudanese. Mehna occupation businessman. Place of birth Lebanon. Okay, so you can see how you devalue your countries. How you devalue your countries. That any person, you just can give him a document that they need, and then it become like this is Geneva, Sudan. It's like this. It's so simple. The Lebanese, we separated from South Sudan, from North Sudan, and become South and the North. لما نعطي الجنسية للشمالين ودل من the original people. يمكن أخوانا في شمال السودان، يعني عندنا هون في كندا بيقولوا ميتيس، هو نتيجة بتاع الزواج بين الأفارقة والعرب، فصاروا مخلوطين. وهذا شخصي قبل نحن ما نصل لهوية ده، وشخص يصل لهوية ده، هم بيعملوا زي في بلادهم أو في مصر مثلا. For this is the cell enslavement الشخصي. الكلام قبل شوية هو مظبوط، لأنه أنت الأشخاص ديل لما يجي يلعبوا في الناس بتاعك في بلادهم، ويجي في نفس الوقت we treat them as a first class citizen, and then our people as fifth class citizen. So we lose our value, we lose our dignity. you know. So Mabor, I will just stop here. If you can add something on that. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Like he said it, Brother William said it all. Actually, to being a citizen or granted a citizen, it's not an issue to me. It's not an issue. But what is in behind that citizen? This is the big question. What is behind that citizen? And what kind of business can grant the person a citizen? So that's another issue because you can separate those. If South Sudan already approved it in the parliament that yes, if you become some years within South Sudan, or you come as refugees from a different country to South Sudan and you want to be a citizen within South Sudan, no problem for that. But did this thing pass by South Sudan parliament in the first place? Do we have a citizenship and immigration in the first place? So all those, this is the question that need to be asked. What kind of business exactly this person was being given that citizenship as a businessman? Thank you, Brother Simon. Here, what kind of business this person, Mr. Ahmed or Azu something, Mohammed, what kind of business that he's doing? So this is the question that I want to know exactly in the Republic of South Sudan. Is the guy that was being brought as the factory ammunition to South Sudan that I have been hearing? Or what kind of business he was being doing in South Sudan? So this is something that the government of South Sudan should clear to us as a South Sudanese. And when the grantor to be a citizen in South Sudan was being passed, and what articles in the constitution of South Sudan? So all this, it need to be applied by South Sudanese government, especially the office of president. And also too, is that businessman is the person that was wanted by America or someone else? If yes, are we enemies to America? So we can bring anybody that have a problem with America and granted them a citizenship. So those are the questions that people should take a look to draw our country back into a situation that we don't need. Because our country is our. I am here, I'm a Canadian. I came by the laws that have been passed into this country. And I'm a citizen here. And even if I go to South Sudan, as my nationality is written, I'm qualified to go to South Sudan. But I cannot just go to South Sudan and do crimes. I will be abided by laws in this country. Or do an abusion. Or do an abusive system. All this is the question that we all need to know exactly in our country. And thank you, Charles. Thank you for coming in. And the topic, as you've seen it there, is written. So we will not give a lot of time. Just put your input.
First of all, thank you so much for allowing me to come in and drop my 1 cent, and I greet you and I greet the audience. The topic is very, very, very important. Some of South Sudanese, they will think like the issue of ID is not important, but it's our identity, and refugees too. So I just want to talk a little bit about identification in South Sudan. When I visited South Sudan in 2011, 2012, and then I visited South Sudan 2013, I experienced a lot, and I met a lot of foreigners. Actually, a lot of foreigners that they have our own ID. You know, it's not the issue of 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a lot. It's a lot down there. It's not only one, and it's not going to be stopped by Salva Kiir to discharge who and bring who on the seat. It's not gonna end with that. Uh, some of the officials, they will approve most of their girlfriends to have our nationality. Most of the officials, and I know them one by one. And some people that goes to South Sudan, either as investors or they go South Sudan to do businesses, they have a way of getting those IDs through corruption. A single money to someone else there in the office that will get a South Sudanese ID, passport, everything. But the question is, if we are issuing those people our passport, our nationality, we are creating another problem. You know, we are creating and we are entering another chaos more than we're experiencing right now. If we issue the passport to Lebanese or Indian or Afghanistan, at the end of the day, in 15 coming years, they will identify us by something else. You know, because there is some of the country, that they are having those jihad issues, and we give them our identity without any hesitation. And your second topic, it's about the refugees. I'm sorry to say, we are refugees in our own country. We are refugees in South Sudan. Can you hear me?
You have a network issue, but it's okay. Continue. Yes, continue. You have a network issue, but continue.
If you can log out and then come in back again, that maybe it could improve. Yeah. Mabor, you are mute.
Yeah, I know. I keep muting myself because I don't want to interrupt it. Come, brother Jeremiah, and our sister Charlie. She's out, and then she's going to come back and find us there. So you continue. This is the topic as you've seen it there. It's the issue abusive that going on in the whole East Africa, including North Africa, for South Sudanese. There is an abusive in Egypt, and we all seen this. This is the big topic. And also, too, now there's a deportation for 600 South Sudanese in Northern Sudan. This is another thing, and also too, there is a deportation that always occur back then, and nobody talk about it, and it been art in Kenya. So those kind of issues, and the government, and we think there is a government in South Sudan, but no government. So what is going on here? That's the topic. And thank you very much. Welcome, Brother Jeremiah.
Are you hearing me?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Brother Mobox, all the panel members and viewers and those who are participating here. This topic really is very important and very painful to the people of South Sudan, everywhere where they live, because it carry humiliation on it. Yes, the topic here is the week of the government institution in South Sudan led to the abuse of the South Sudanese people in Egypt. That is the question. I can say it is similar, but to my own view, not because of weak institution. The reason is South Sudan is a failed state. It is the reason. Because the symptom or the sign or element of the failed state had been seen in South Sudan by every country. And this came as a result of bad leadership in South Sudan under the watch or under direct under the president of South Sudan. His weakness had victimized people of South Sudan. And our neighbors had seen there is no connection between the government and the citizens of South Sudan, wherever they are. Our government is just busy. If your government is killing you, the government is killing its own citizens. Who else will respect the citizen of South Sudan if our government is the one killing his own citizens? Government is busy just with the national issues, not national issues, tribal issues. So this had a big ramification on our citizens, whereby we are not respected. After all, we have been criminalized by the action of our government official in the security forces, at the political arena, and everywhere. Attitude that is shown by the government does not let any other country to respect our citizens. This is the failure of the government. Of course, institution is very now strong institution in South Sudan. It seems even there is no system. There is no system other people will respect. What I can say, during the SPLA time, SPLA were respected organization in the region, at the level of Africa, and at the international level. SPLA were respected very much in terms of a good leadership, the way it conducted itself. Now the question came, why, when we became as a nation or after independence under this president, why our country or why our citizen is not respected? So what we want the people of South Sudan, we shall continue talking, but the government is not getting our message because they are busy with building alliances, how to grip on power without listening to the people. What I can say, people of South Sudan, if this is the case,
people must endorse the exit of the President Salva Kiir with his loyalists, political opportunists, and all the bourgeoisie who are now enjoying his leadership. Our people are not enjoying this, and we are not respected. When Sudan was won, the Sudanese who were in Egypt by then, they were respected by the government of Egypt, and we were respected. I very well when Sudan was won before the division. During SPLA, as I said before, we were respected. What happened when after getting independent? Why we are not respected across the globe? So this is the issue of concern of the failed state, as I said before. And from here, I would like to stop here. But these are the elements. Our state is not respected. Our president is not respected. He cannot even travel. He cannot go anywhere. He just go he visit the countries where he normally concur with those people against his own citizen. So there is no government there. If there is a government, something could have been done. Our embassies abroad, if they are threatened, they are being closed because they cannot pay rent. How can you respect a country like this? So I would like to stop here, and thank you.
Hello, my brother. Hello, brother.
Yes, thank you.
How are you?
Hello, hello. Lejeune. Mabor, you are mute. You are the one moderating. So we have you have to welcome the people. Are you muted or?
No, I'm not muted. I'm trying to do something here. Actually, when you welcome in, you have to be quiet. For those who are out there, when you come in, just quiet until you get a chance. When you come in, we already invited you into front door. So we give you a time, and then you can greet people respectively. In his case that interrupted someone, this is the thing that we don't need it. And also too, this is our cases that we need to let everybody down there who is writing now or want to come in later. Please don't come late, because time is already running. We left for only 1 hour and a half. Don't come later and come and say, oh, you want to add something, but it's better to come in now, so then we can fulfill the system. Thank you. Welcome our brother Dalarjin, and this is the topic. When you see it there, is written in English, written in Arabic. So so I will elaborate it to you again. The fall behind to our country was abuse that happening in Kenya in the beginning, and also too happening in Egypt, and now it's going to Sudan. Why I mentioned these three countries? One, in Egypt, they always abusing people and taking up some organs out from the people, and nobody talk about it within the country, and abusing people even in the video, and nobody talk about it within the country. And also too, in Kenya, they deported people and go and get killed in South Sudan. Nobody talk about it within the country. So which means it look like the country government, which is South Sudan government, have a link on those. And now this week, 600 South Sudanese have to be deported from Sudan to South Sudan. What crime they done? 600. What crime they done? Half of the country. Okay, not half of the country. Half of the Payam. So that's what I'm trying to say. So what is wrong to our country? And welcome our brothers Dolarjin.
Yeah, thank you very much, William Mabor, William Godwin, and Wal Mabor, and our brothers, those who are listening from South Sudan. My name is Dolarjin. I'm the leader of the UPSS, Union Party of South Sudan. You know, quickly, I actually wanted to point out some few things, and your topic is about, you saying is maybe the way our people are abused, maybe the weak of the government. I don't believe that, and this is the reason. You know, people, they don't take time to make research on this, and to also to kind of look into things critically, and this is the only way we can really know our problem. In a couple years ago, like 8 years, 7 years ago, I came with a good analysis and diagnosis of the problem of South Sudan, which actually have never been thought about, but it turned out to be the truth about the crisis in South Sudan. So the main problem of our country is what I describe in one of my books as tribalism. And the war that is going on is a tribal war. You can name it, a lot of scholars or maybe some South Sudanese leaders try to argue in different ways. It's not going to help us, because what we need is the truth. If we don't have truth, then anything that is not true is going to be violent, and is going to turn out to be killing people, because violent, the end of violence is death. Now, the issue that you see why people may be fighting on based on tribal line, and people are have a tribalism that has been there for a long time. I actually argue that the main problem is because we are turning out from God. And South Sudanese may say, "Oh, those who are pastors or whatever, we go to church, we go, maybe we pray a lot at this time." The problem is praying is not the actually the absence of sin. That is one thing I wanted to tell you. And going to the church does not mean that you don't have the sin, or does not mean that your sin is forgiven, or does not mean that actually you know God. And these are the things that our people don't get good education from people who actually scholars who study things. This is a big problem we have. So in that way, they only turn to believe on power, on our power, our own power, which is not enough to actually to live in a country like we call it a country, because the power, my own power, cannot be combined, cannot be a common to all the country of 13 million people. So that is, you need something extra, you need something extraordinary, and that is only the power of God. The other thing is that people think that the reason we don't have a peace in the country is because we think peace is something that we can actually give, or something that is available from human being, which is not true. And that's one factor that is killing us, because sometimes even the leaders themselves, they look at themselves, they think that they don't have capacity actually to negotiate peace. Sometimes they go to Khartoum, they have been going to Addis Ababa for a couple of times. Sometimes they run to Uganda, Museveni. The reason they run there is because they believe those countries have experts than South Sudanese, and those experts can really give a way, strategy to actually to bring peace in the country. This is totally wrong, and it's not only illusion. It's actually it will bring something like violence, a continual violence that will arise for many years, and it's actually going to make our conflict to be worse. And I think that is one of the reasons you are seeing this, like World put it right, that right now what you are seeing is that there is suffering, not even in the country. There is suffering. You mentioned Kenya now. There is suffering in South Sudan. Are suffering in Egypt. They are suffering in Sudan. There is a lot of maybe people being expelled from those countries. And you can also add Libya. But main problem is that what it tells us is that There is no heaven right here. So because those countries, the South Sudanese thought maybe they were heaven for them. Okay, so there is no heaven. Even there is no heaven even in America, even in Europe, even in Australia, because those countries they turn even South Sudanese. Instead, they have a conflict either by themselves or maybe they get trouble with the law there. So what it tell us is that wherever you go, where you are a South Sudanese right now, what we experience is that there is no heaven for you. So what is happening is like chaos. And those reasons for chaos is that we don't have peace. We don't have peace in our head, in our brain, and our heart. There is no peace. We don't have peace because we turn to believe peace is from ourselves. That is the main reason. This is not true. The peace, the true peace, if we wanted to understand how peace can come, peace in a country belongs to God. Even peace for yourself, it belongs to God. And it's not a human thing. That is what I want us to understand. Wherever you want to have peace, you have to turn to God. You have to turn your life to God. And I can quote you, those who like to read Bible or who are readers, if you are scholars. If you are not a scholars, you can just go open a Bible or maybe a Quran and read it, because peace is a universal thing. It's available in Quran if you are a Muslim. It's available in the Bible if you read text. So Ephesians, the book of Ephesians, chapter 2, in verse 14, it's kind of like it tells us very, very clear that peace is not a human thing. It's from God. Wherever you claim you got it from Kenya or God, those are fake. They will fail and they will kill you. So here it says, now he himself is our peace. This is the Bible saying. He himself is our peace. Okay, who is he? Who made us and has broken down his flesh. The dividing and the one that actually end the hostility. This is the Bible, Ephesians. You can read that one from your own. Another chapter is say from the book of Philippians. It say, and the peace of God, you see, not peace of human, not peace of Salva Kiir, not peace of Riek Machar, or not peace from Khartoum. It doesn't say it's peace from Uganda. It say peace of God. I want you to understand that. That is the book of Philippians in the Bible. Okay? Peace of God, which surpass all understanding, will grant your heart and your mind in Jesus Christ. And that is, sometimes this is Philippians chapter 4, verse 7. I want you to read that. The book of,
yes, and go. I know, and the Bible is very important, but our topic, yes, we know that nothing can be done without God here. But our topic is the suffer of our people. Otherwise, people will not understanding it. They will considering us that we are coming to preach here, and our aim is to tell them what can we do for the people that are suffering within East Africa and the North Africa.
And that is what I'm telling you. Have you agreed the reason they are suffering is because we don't have peace, right? Have you agreed that? Did you agree, right? Okay, well, good. If we agree that the reason they are suffering is because we don't have peace, this is the reason now I'm quoting you where you get a union peace, a peace that will last in the country. So the peace that is saying here is that peace belongs to God. We need to recognize that. If we still think by illusion that the peace is belong to Addis Ababa or belong to Riek Machar or Salva Kiir, you're going to suffer more than what you are seeing. And this is what I'm telling you, okay? From the Bible scripture. The only genuine peace is in the Bible. So unless we turn to God and use this peace, biblical peace in our country, is when we will have a good peace, a good country, and God will give us good leaders who actually fear God. And our suffering from Uganda, from Kenya, from Egypt, it will end, it will finish. You will never see it again. So, my brothers, that is the point I wanted to raise. This kind of tribalism, unless we actually turn to God. South Sudanese, even in the leadership right now, they are away, they are far away from God. Whatever they are doing right now, whether they are abroad or inside, is not something related to God. And the worst thing is that some of them, they even cheat themselves that they are Christian and they don't understand the Bible. How can you be a follower of Jesus? You don't understand the Bible. You
Thank
don't
you.
know. So
Thank
this
you.
is the point I'm saying, that the peace, you see that some people say, oh, there is no peace, or there is peace, there is no secure arrangement. The reason is that that kind of peace is a human peace. It
Thank you.
has no truth on it. So I want the people of South Sudan to be rethinking and try to rethink again. And the only peace that you can think about in our country is to start negotiating a peace based on the Bible. That is the real peace that will put into all the people's heart, and people will have peace. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, brothers. Dolarjin. Yes, he said that we have to turn to God first, and then peace will come. That's what Dolarjin mentioned, and I quoted from what he said. William, this is your chance. What do you think? Our brothers Dolarjin say we have to go back to God and follow the Bible, so peace will come. So, what do you think? It's your turn. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Dual Lorgins, and thank you, Jeremiah and Mabor. Yeah, the topic is very clear that the weakness of the government's institution in Southern Sudan led to the abuse of the South Sudanese people in Egypt. Yeah, why are we saying this? Yes, Jeremiah mentioned that how come, how can the government, and he's very good, he tried to say it, he's busy with national issues, but he said again, no, the tribal issues. Yeah. So if the same government is already engaged in killing the same people who are suffering in Egypt, how can the government help or protect or defend the people who are very far away while he's killing people who are just still inside Southern Sudan, killing them through the hunger, killing them through the disease, killing them by guns, killing them by just grabbing their land and pushing them from their land. That is true. That is a problem here. Then, as Jeremiah said, we don't have the government, and the only solution is to find a way that the government should go or reform. And this is what people are talking about in the peace reform, because nobody in Southern Sudan is perfect. We all found ourselves in this situation. So, but if we reform, we will carry each other's. And then the peace which is there now can be implemented, and then we can learn from the past and move forward. That is what the voices of the hearts or the wisdom of Southern Sudanese people is calling for. Uh, Dol Lorgin said the issue is a tribalism in Southern Sudan. Yes, that is true, but we, me personally, William, I don't buy it, because what happened in 2000, let's say just 2013 or before 2013, okay, from 2005, the government forget the vision of uh, New Sudan. Dr. John Garang is gone, and his legacy are now scattered over the street. There, there was, there is audio being played in the social media. The lady, original from Danka, responding to the brutality of her fathers and pleading, begging for her father to change. She mentioned even what we are talking about today, our people suffering in Egypt. So he described it very clear. There is no hospital, there is no water. If you are going to Juba, our water is being delivered by the whoever the foreigner. She mentioned everything. I really wish that her father is listening to this. Abu Gadesima Kalamda. For that, if we critically analyze the reason for the war in Southern Sudan, we will vindicate what we call tribalism. Because that is a make up. When we all know when Dr. John Garang is gone, Salva Kiir is there. What he did, he protected himself until now. I don't know if I'm right. Salva Kiir is from Gogrial. I don't know if it is, if I'm right. Let somebody go to Gogrial today and tell me there is a street or hospital and all this or a school or running water and all. Just let somebody take a map and then share it with us. So the vast majority of the people of Southern Sudan, they are suffering equally. Now those people who are in the government, when they knew that their power is going, of course who will support them? They have to fake the reason. That is a tribalistic war. And that is what happened when Salva Kiir did it. He dressed up in uniform, go to the radio, put his colleagues, his comrade in the jail and kill the others and declare a war and win and kill Nuer. And then the war, what happened in Bentiu? Revenge. And it goes over the southern Sudan. But if you ask yourself, when this thing started, a transformation within the SPLM started by 75. And if I'm wrong, forgive me. Maybe Dr. Lamakol helped in working that out, the corruption. And I think he was in Khartoum or in Cairo. He went up to Juba and then they have a good meeting with Salva Kiir. And then it seemed that time they are working together. And then we have a list, 75 ministers. Each one has at least 10 million. And then what Salva Kiir did, he said, we will open an account so you can go and put your money there. You know? No, there are many wars somewhere, especially in a Shuluk land, there is a war because of land grabbing. And then it continue going everywhere in Southern Sudan. So who can think that when you rule the people through injustice, as Martin King said, injustice anywhere threatened justice somewhere. So that affect everybody in Southern Sudan. Exclusion of many Southern Sudanese people from a decision making was itself today the reason why we're paying the price today. Because those who have been excluded, they didn't remain silent. And until now, they continue to make their voice heard. So Salva Kiir found himself in a reform, and the reform have to start with SPLM first. No, there is something called delegation of power. Nobody have to be in power forever, especially within a party. We see Donald Trump is gone already. You know, one of the strongest leaders in America is gone 4 years only, and other people go. Even you have to delegate the power to your son. King Malik Hussein fil Order. He delegated power to his son. If it is family issues, Saddam Hussein were preparing, and Gaddafi was preparing. Bashar al-Assad, the same thing. Maybe he didn't have children. So there is a delegation of the power. So Salva Kiir is supposed to say, okay, I will delegate the power even to Riek Machar or to Pagana Mumut, Uyadanga Jak or whoever, or Majak Agot. But because of the selfishness, he didn't like that. And he forgot that those guys are the people who fought the war with him. They have equal right to rule too. But now he planned a coup and then he put them in a jail. No, for him to have a support until today, we have many Denka who are blind. They are not seeing the bigger picture. And this young lady who speak in the audio made it clear that because you are from Gogrial or you because from where, you don't want to talk because I have an uncle in Juba, and then that's it. He's telling people, wake up now. So because of that, Salva Kiir is from Manjang, and then we have to support him. And then let go kill Chuluk, let go kill Denka, let go Nuer or kill whoever. And then now, the war become to be seen like a tribalistic war. But historically, when it started, it is not. It's just to protect Salva Kiir only. So that's why, for me, maybe I can say I differ with brother Dol Largin, because when we acknowledge that the war is a tribalism in Southern Sudan, we are giving legitimacy to Salva Kiir, that they are fighting war. Riek Machar have right to fight for the people of Nuer. Lamakol have right to fight for the Shuluk people, and Salva Kiir have right to fight for the Denka and Wanega. No, it's not the point. We tell them you are failure. There is no water, as this young lady said. There is no water, there is no hospital, and there is no school, there is no road, there is no electricity. Then that is when there is no public service, you are a failure. But don't blindside the public to say this is I'm fighting the tribal wars. Yeah, that is where I differ with what brother Dolar Jin said. Yeah, in terms of the Bible, yes, of course, Bible is very important. But the peace of God is there. You know, when before this war, when the people of South Sudan have to come from Nasser up to Malakal, or from Malakal up to Juba, without somebody touching you on the journey, what is it? Is a peace. Is a peace. But this peace has been destroyed by those people who are just few elites. So the peace of South Sudanese people is there. But the people who are obstacle for this peace, there is a government. So I yell back to you, Mabor.
Thank you.
Let me quickly.
No, Dal, I will give you a chance. When there is a chance come, I will give it to you.
No, I just wanted to point out some of the things.
No.
Yeah, Mabor, you can, yeah.
Yeah, what William, in one second.
Mabor, if you
Everybody will
insist.
come. There is a time. There is a time when time comes, I will tell you to put what you put. Mark it down. When you was talking, nobody interrupted you. Thank you. Well, like our brother William put it together, and and he say the situation in South Sudan today, as we talk, is not about tribalism. Yes, it's not about tribalism. To be honest, it's the groups that form themselves to make sure they have to destroy the country, and they really, indeed, they done it. And when they done it, so it's our responsibility to make sure that anything that need to be put together is our collective. But the point for today is about the abuses that going on in all East Africa, including North Africa. What we can do with those who are leave those who are in South Sudan? What can we do, we those who are outside the country? What voice we can add to stop that situation in the time that the government failed to do anything in those abuses? And I believe also too, they contribute into that abusive, because I can recall something. The president went to Egypt. When he went to Egypt, he were going for a state visit, and the country of South Sudan flags was being turned upside down. And what happened to it? Nobody even talk about it. In that case, it should be a disrespectful to the nation or a disrespectful to the president? That's a part of the issues that people should talk about. In Egypt, a lot of people got kidnapped. In Kenya, a lot of people got kidnapped in Kenya, and we lost some life in Juba. In the religious people in South Sudan, is it just a disrespectful to religious group or clerics or priests? Is it that thing is disrespectful to the nation or to religions? So this is the thing that we need to work and take a clearance. Yes, I do agree some a bit with our brother Dolarjin on the religious issues, and that's why I mentioned this. So that is all, because our country, we have a lot of assets that should be used. If you call yourself a government, you should not be abused by someone else because you need to be silent. So if you open your mouth, so maybe that government will say no for you and you can be kicked out. That's not the case. The case when you become a leader within the country, you have a say for those people who make you to lead. Not a leader for those who make you to lead to be abused. So that's the case that we need to talk about it exactly, correctly, you know. So before I go to Dolarjin, I I will make sure Jeremiah, please add something, and then Dollar Jim will come.
Okay, thank you, Brother Mabor. Really, what we are discussing about today is very sensitive because it involves uh, the way the country has been governed, and because of that, our people are not respected. And that is why I said uh, our region had seen what so-called a failed state in South Sudan. And someone was saying South Sudan is not a failed state. To me, those who are saying South Sudan is not a failed state, they are blind. One. Or if they are not blind, they are the beneficiary of the current project going on in the country, being politically or in terms of other benefit they are seeing from this current system. But what I am saying, the symptom or the sign of failed state are like this. South Sudan is not now in control of the borders. Most of the countries they taken piece of land from South Sudan. And during Bush time, our borders were respected by our neighboring or by by our neighbors. Now our land had been taken by the other countries, including resources in that land. And our government is keeping silent, busy taking land from other communities within South Sudan and leaving the border land to be taken by the other countries. That is what I am saying. South Sudan is a failed state. Two, it is our parliaments has lost credibility. The decision or the way the parliament has been seen by the outsiders, parliament is just like what we so call rubber stamp. Parliament has no end decision. The decision came just from the sulfur and elders of particular tribe. And that is how the South Sudan is run. Now, the other countries they have seen, okay, state. When we talk about democracy, we don't have it. We don't respect international norms and international law. We don't know what human rights is talking about. We did not deliver services to our people. No developments, no school, no hospital. You see, what people are seeing is just the countries now who are abusing our people. These are the countries who governments had been backing them to give them political support, military support, all kinds of support to keep them in power. Now, if someone is backing you, you know, government has been known for backing, has been known for backing the neighboring state to fight his own people, and we see the way they are dying. So, how can you respect that? Kenya will never respect South Sudan anymore. Uganda the same, and Egypt the same, because Egypt has been supporting South Sudan, and South Sudan relying on Egypt to make sure conflict in South Sudan government has upper hand in it. And again, maybe our people are suffering because there has been rumors between Egypt and Ethiopia. Now, we don't know how far did they go. Maybe the Egyptians, they are using Cold War against our people there. You know, no one knows. And our government is not in touch with the people. This is how the government is known now. He has no connection with the people to look at them as I mean their or has its own people or has their own people. So what I am saying is that the only solution, because it was very easy to start this conflict and very difficult to put it off, the only solutions is to install really new system with our current government, to revise our relationship with the neighboring state and the world, so that our people could be respected. Now our people in the outside South Sudan, they are living on their own. There is no employment inside the country, no job. That's why they are living. They are abused and they could not live, because if they live where they are abused now and come back to South Sudan, they will find death. Now, what they are saying, they have just accepted the situation. Let it be like that. Death is the same. Let me die here, and while I am, if I don't get any problem, then I will be supporting my family here in Egypt or in Kenya. But government did not make any deliver after the independent at all. No factory, no any. There is nothing people can live on. People are living on their own way. So these are some of the elements encourage the other to victimize our people based on the action of the government or credibility. Government has lost credibility at all the level. So I do still stand on my view that government has lost credibility across the globe, and we need new systems so our people will be respected. We bring substance to the people, development, so people will come to our country, they will return to our country. This government has now this program, has now such program. If this is the case, our people, they will remain in those countries and they will be abused like the way they are being abused now. So this is what I can say. In terms of God, yes, we South Sudanese, we are believers, we say. And we know the word of God. Evil is in the government. The evil himself is in the government. And if there is no peace, then how can you go to church? You know, our institutional, religious institution, they are very weak. Government is not supporting them. People cannot go to church because there is no security. Religious leaders are assassinated in the country. You know, whenever they try to preach the word of God, doesn't mean that we don't know God, but the system is the one who is abusing the word of God by itself. That's why I do repeat and continue repeating that this person must go. Self-power must go with all his group. Back to you, Mabok. Thank you. Mabok.
Thank you very much. That's a credible things that you put together. Like you said it all, and yes, our people are suffering enough, but the point that all of us should come into is that what can we do? And this is I go back to our brother Dalarjin. The question, if
thank you very much. Well, first of all, I want you to give me a little bit of time, because before I answer what we can do, I need to respond to William, and I also need to respond to Jeremiah. The reason I want to respond to this guy is because, I view them like the way they kind of like saying thing is like they don't have understanding of the situation of some of the things. So let me respond to them quickly, each of them, and then I will come to answer your question. Okay?
Yes, and everybody, you have a pen, write them down. So later, when I give you a chance, you respond to it. You don't respond when someone talking. Yes, go ahead, Dalarjin.
Yeah. First of all, for William, he's trying to deny that there is the problem of South Sudan is not tribalism, and this is really very dangerous for any scholar who wanted to study about South Sudan. First of all, whether he can argue that is a political, if I go by your argument, the political situation has already been tried. And political, the reason people, you see people going to Addis Ababa, Riek Machar has been going there, Salva Kiir, is because Salva Kiir and Riek Machar, they both believe that the problem of South Sudan is a political problem. And that is why the world, the whole world, have been engaged in understanding and in solving our problem as a political. The solution of political has already been found. And this is what our people don't understand. They don't even want to, not even to get into this. The documents are available there. Okay? What is happening here is the political solution is failing because it's not, the problem and the solution are not matching together. That is why we have a failed solution in South Sudan. This is one. And that one proved to it that the problem is not a political problem. Because if it is a political problem, the political solution that is provided and approved by the international community will not fail. Mark that one. First, the second thing is this, okay? If we don't we don't try to this, we get scared because of talking about the truth as a tribalism, then we are denying not only the right of the people that has been victim of this situation, but we are prolonging the war to so many generations in our future. This is what I have to tell you. So to be careful about what is going on. And the second thing is that this problem of tribalism is not the first time that it began in our history. Prove it. If last time I talked with you, I debated with you about how actually things work in South Sudan. And let me tell you, I work in the army in South Sudan, Tiger Division, in Special Forces. Okay? And because of tribalism, I was a general without portfolio in the Tiger. Okay? So Marial was there, General Lim, General Yen Makwai, myself in Idar. Okay? If you heard that there were forces that were actually fought in Juba, and people who have gone, those are we are the forces of Tiger. There is no any other forces. And there is no way you can deny it. Anybody who is in Juba, within the Tiger, we have a lot of tribe in the Tiger division. Okay? But at that night on the December 15, those forces that fought, they were only forces that are loyal to Nuer tribe and forces of Denga tribe. The other tribe, they did not fight the war. You need to understand that. So how will it be actually a political war? We the Tiger, who is starting of the war in Juba, is only Nuer and Denka. Yen knows that. General Marial knows that. Peter Lim knows. I know that. We only the four. Leave about Riek Machar, who was telephone, or maybe Salva Kiir, who just rely on the telephone because he's not in the army. So that is one thing. You know, the other thing is that you heard about forces Denka tribe being trained in Luri. There is a report. Abu Sanjo, the president of Nigeria, has written a major report about that, about what is going on. Not even South Sudanese, and they recognize that it was really a tribal. So I'm not going to say that. Even James Oath, from his interview with the BBC, he said that the SPLA fought, and then the people who actually got the people killed were the tribal army. This proved it that what was going on is a tribal issue, not political. So now, our history in let me take you back, in 1983, the War of Bilpam, Jeremiah, he knows about that. And I think you might have heard, okay? Peter Nien was there. So he is alive, is an eyewitness. What happened is that during the war of the 1983, when Guy Tut actually and his group left Bill Farm, which is the Giada where the war was, and Guy was killed and the rest actually went away, the war turned to be a tribal. In which way? When those Nuer that have gun, with those Nuer who are armed, they were out. There was some Nuer, they were known as Musijidin in Bill Farm, meaning they are coming to look for gun. Musijidin, and some don't have gun. Kerbino, he's from Malawal, he's a Denga Bargazal. So he went ahead and actually, after when those people with gun, he went ahead and slaughtered, killed, murdered all those Nuer that were left in Bill Farm. Go and prove that one if you don't know about that. And then immediately the war turned to be a tribal between the Nuer and Denga. If we don't talk this truth, then what are we going to do here? What kind of truth are we looking for? If we cannot talk about the truth. In 1991 alone, the Nuer Wairua merged to Jonglei, and most of the Boer were actually killed. Most of the Boer right now, they say the Nuer killed them. And Riek was interviewing the BBC. He said, "I wipe out the Garang soldiers." You want to deny that it's not a tribal thing? Come on, guys. I think there is a problem with South Sudan. I don't know if it is a lack of knowledge or maybe they're trying to hide the truth. And that is what will prolong the war, actually. Now, let me come to this gentleman, Jeremiah. Last time you say you were in the SPLA or what? I don't know what kind of battalion or where you were trained, because most of soldiers nowadays, you can form a militia. You say I'm a soldier. You never went to Bunga. Maybe you trained somewhere. Now, you saying, but maybe you were a military. You don't have educational background. What I mean, if you are not a scholar, then you will not know what is the difference between a failed state and a state that is not a failed state. There are 5 categories of a failed state. If a country has not fulfilled these five, then we can name it, we can label it a failed state. Number 1.
Yeah, Dual, we don't want to go personals, okay?
I will ask you to respond to it later. Let him
go.
No,
let me respond to this one very quick. The failed state has 5 categories. Okay. Number 1, for us to know South Sudan is a failed state, the rebels themselves, the war itself, must take most of the region, some of the region, and control them. Let's say the rebellion, the Riangwacha rebellion or whatever rebellion, is responsible for Upper Nile or for maybe the part of Equatoria. Then we say a region, a certain region has been taken by rebel, no government there. Okay, this one is one category that qualify a state to be named a failed state. But now the rebel, they are in the bush. There is no any capital that is under the control of rebel rank. Now, how will you characterize that country a failed state? So that means you don't understand what a failed state means. Second, the other category of a failed state is when the government don't have communication with the neighboring country. Let's say the Wudud, the border between Uganda and South Sudan, is being blocked because of the war. The Kenya, they don't have communication. Then we say this is a failed state because this region, there is a different within a different group that are controlling some of the territory, and they don't have communication with their neighbor. So instead of government to communicate with Uganda, maybe the rebel are doing that, or maybe certain forces. Then we say, in a scholastic international way, we say such kind of country can be labeled as a failed state. The other thing is provision of services. Okay, the reason that South Sudan now don't have services that go by road is because there are no road. It's not because there are people blocking them. So the government can go anywhere. They have plane, they travel, they land in Malacan, they land in Jongle, they land everywhere if they want to land. So that means it's not a failed state. You have to go back to your kind of rewind, my brother. South Sudan is not a failed state based on its holistic international way of looking at the ranking of failed state. So this is one thing I will disagree with you. If it is a failed state, and then it's not yet, maybe the rebel will take some territory in future. If you say that, that's okay, I can agree with you. Then it can become a failed state. If Riek Machar control Apanal, before he was controlling Bentiu, he was controlling Malakal and Jongle. Yes, if he's still controlling them now, then right now I will agree with your point, because that is how failed state come about. If you look at Somalia, the reason the world named Somalia is a failed state is because El Shabaab, they control a big region like Malakal. They operate there. They have their own business, their own tech, not from the government. So it's independently run. Government cannot go in that area, whether by force or by what they are able to defend it. So this is a failed state because it's dividing by the internal forces. So you have to understand the government. So that is one thing I will respond to you, because what we need in our country is truth. If we don't say truth, we will never change. The other thing you're trying to say, South Sudanese, they know God. How will you know God in a situation like that? First of all, going to church, I repeat, going to church or maybe praying 100 times is not knowing God. This is what I have to tell you. Because if you don't understand that peace comes from where? Peace, I even quote to you a lot of verses that are actually for peace, in how we can know peace. And you still you still don't understand that. Okay? So peace is not a human thing. The way our people are being cheated there, that peace, we can understand peace. Peace is impossible for a human to understand it. It's beyond our understanding. Okay, anybody who is study a scholastic, peace belongs to God. So it's only how do we get out of this? How do we get the solution? Well, the solution is very clear. If you need peace, God say you have to turn away from all your power, from all your own making. Turn to God, because God is the one who has peace. He's going to give us the peace. And to answer your question, how we can help here, the only way we can help is to begin to ask our leaders. We, the people who are in diaspora now, we are not doing even our job. What we should be doing is to tell Salva to actually to begin praying by himself and ask God and tell him that you have led the country. You are the first evil who have turned evil in the country. And that's why things are going wrong. If we tell that to Salva, you tell it to Riek, my friend, there will be change tomorrow. But if you think, oh, somebody need to go, how? You developing the more problem. Okay? Because the problem is because the whole country is turned away from God. God wants you to turn to him and know that the peace you are claiming belongs to God. And this is what I have said, that is proven in Ephesians chapter 2. If you read that, Ephesians chapter 2, it's telling us where peace comes from. Only people who actually turn to God peace can have peace, can have a genuine peace. If you want human peace, that is the one we are doing right now. And that's why people are still complaining, no security arrangement, no what, people have to go to war, there's no government. You will continue with that for many years, and it's going to get worse. And I actually tell people that the tribal war that you have seen, will even be minor. You're going to see the worst yet. Simply because people are ignorant. They don't know what is going on here. Okay? So thank you, my brother.
Your term is finished, and also too, don't forget that always you always come and bring your own topic somewhere and come and draw it and attacking others. What we need is our opinion to each and every one. But now you turn it against the people who giving their own opinion, and instead you will give your opinion, but you keep attacking people. Now I will open a door to the people that you attack. What next? What's going to happen now? So we left the topic that we're coming for. You go to another topic. And
no. Sorry if I attacked someone, but I thought we were.
No. Hold on. I did not give you a chance yet. Please don't don't unmute yourself when people are giving others people a chance. And always I have a problem with you on that. You come in, you need to disrupt it while people are talking. This is something that I don't like from you, Don Arjit, very clearly. You know, let's respect each other. We are we are an adult and we are a media. You know, and welcome to Non Nation team, Sister Jojo and our brother Otto. I have been coordinating the program, but now you guys came in, and I believe I will still continue. And if you want to add something, please add something, and I will go back to Brother William, and Brother William will respond and clear up what our brother was saying. But it was
Mabor, sorry for interruption. I think to bring our brother back a little bit and then we can continue in a smooth way, there should be a little bit clarifications and but you said it already anyway, that there is a new topic being added here. Yeah.
So I don't need any new topic to be added at all. But thank you, Sister Jojo. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
We hear you, Jojo. We hear you.
I haven't come up then.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. I just sorry. I apologize for joining late, and I see you guys are already fired up. I just want to say welcome the panel, Jeremiah, Otho, Dwal Largent, and William Golding. Thank you. I think I'm just gonna jump in. I will not take you guys back. I found that you guys are discussing because I was driving and I was listening actually to what William was saying and Jeremiah and then Dwal Largent. I just want to say this. Uh, I just want to take you guys off the topic a little bit. We all know that South Sudan is a failed state. It's a fact. We cannot come and deny it over here. What is a failed state? Let us define what is a failed state. I know some people don't like to admit uh, the truth, but we all know a failed state is when a government doesn't deliver services to its own people. A failed state, it's a political body that has disintegrated to a point where basic conditions and responsibilities of a sovereign government no longer function properly. A state can also be failed if the government lost its legitimacy. Uh, Even if it's performing its functions properly, but it lost its legitimacy, it means that uh, it's a failed state. We know that the president, Salva Kiir, has lost. He has no vision. He's lost legitimacy of the country. So he has failed its own people by creating a man-made war. I heard that it's a tribal war. It's just what other people just try to say. But the truth is, it was a man-made war, and it was proved that it was Salva that created the war. Let us just say the truth, because we know that Nile Nation Network is for facts, and it's to educate people, not to mislead the people. To come back to the topic, we are talking about the weakness of the government institutions in South Sudan, which led to the offense or abuse of South Sudanese people in Egypt or in the neighboring countries. First of all, what is a government institution? Government institutions, I believe it's made of legislature, executive, and judiciary. And also, um, the legislature is made of the National Assembly and the Council of States, which is now composed of 55 members, which some people are even, we heard that people are not, they cannot read and write. They just accommodate people there, you know. Even the seats in the National Assembly cannot accommodate the 55 members. Let me not take you guys out of the topic. The executive is the executive branch of the government, which is headed by the president himself. It's a complex, um, it's headed by the president, by Mr. President himself. Judiciary is a complex structure consisting of the constitutionally established government courts and the customary courts. So it's divided. I just want to define briefly what the government institution is. And with the judiciary, the highest, the court is the Supreme Court, which is led by the Chief of Justice of the country. That's the head of the judiciary. And the institution is meant to foster political order and physical security. We all know that the political order and the physical security have failed. Institutional weakness is a product of South Sudanese relationship. They adapted from Sudan. And South Sudanese, this is what they do. They employ ethnic militias to conduct counterinsurgencies, operations, and against tribes. That's where the tribalism come. So it doesn't mean that the war started as a tribal war. It's after that Salva knew that people don't like him and he's failed the country, he's failed his own people. That's when they started creating problems within the tribes. They create tribal wars. Dinka fighting Nuer, Nuer fighting Dinka, Dinka fighting Equatoria, Equatoria fighting Dinka. That's where all the tribal problems started. Unfortunately, the government officials of South Sudan, they use divide and rule too, and this is what Salva is using. He uses it as a winning strategy to employ themselves. Like we said before, they create the war, they create war which create displacement, which led people to leave the country. When there's war, there's hunger, there's starvation. People become so hungry. The government is not providing basic services. So people start fleeing the country for security reasons and safety. That's why most South Sudanese left their country. People ran to Congo, people ran to Egypt, people ran to Uganda, Ethiopia. That's even the reason why we are in diaspora, because of war, you know. So when war happens, there's so many things. There's displacement, and when displacement happens, people become refugee. We take refuge in neighboring countries because we want to live safe, you know. So this is where the abuse and the racism all begin. Because as a refugee, when you live in a certain country or a foreign country, you get abused. That's why the incident happened in Egypt. And it's not even in Egypt alone, like we said before. It's all over the neighboring countries. Even in diaspora here, it's happening. It's all because of the war that happened in our country, you know. So, two, poor decision making, you know, by the government. It weakens the institution, you know. Sulfur has no clue, you know. He depends on other people advising him, and he misled the country, you know. So, for example, the water that is available, the government doesn't provide basic services. We have the water from the River Nile. We, like the government, will help the people of South Sudan to use it for irrigation instead of depending on foreign countries like Uganda to provide food or vegetables to the people of South Sudan, you know. But because the government spend little time to negotiate even fair deals for access with other foreign countries about the River Nile, the government doesn't spend time on that, because all they do, they focus on the oil because of corruption. Corruption is one of the problems too, you know. So now in the country, there's no clean water, there's no food, you know. All these are the reasons that led the institution to fail, you know. So we cannot sit here and deny and say that South Sudan is not a failed state, you know. And also, due to poor institutional implementation, there's no jobs and stability. South Sudanese people need jobs and wages to ensure future stability. All they do, they hire or they provide employment to their relatives. You know, there's youth, there are other people out there that have skills and professional that can work well and change some institutional implementation, but because they are not given chance. And number five, like I said, corruption weakens institution. The government's ability to function and provide food, water, security, you know. So all these problems weakens the institutions. So all those contribute to the country to make South Sudan a failed country. So with that, I'll leave it here for now. I'll wait for another chance, then I'll add more. Thank you.
Thank you, Jojo. Jojo agree for a failed state or a corruption or all this. So now, as I repeated, see the issues that always goes. You cannot just come in and attack people, and then when people wait for your response, you just run away. Sometimes it's not a good thing. You know, this is something that I always don't like. Someone must come in and wait for his own chance. Especially you, Dolarjin. I hope you are watching now. And I will repeat this. When you come in, you affected yourself to talk while you're seeing people in the talk on the turntable. It's not right thing at all. Although you get only one person, just wait that he will give you a chance. And thank you. So now, Brother Otto, is your time. Like you've seen it is written there, and also too, sorry that you came late, and I have been so welcome, Brother Otto.
Thank you. Thank you, Wall, William, Jeremiah, and Juju. All of us, we are a team here, you know. We're trying to at least to liberate to our people. What really they're facing today has to be bring up. So discussion really was good, little bit, but I don't know. I hope Brother Lajor can come back and try to listen from the other people also. Anyway, I'm not going to that topic, but I'm going direct to our topic you just put there. The truth is that when the government fails, that means the three branches that are not working. Everything is mixed, or it's become the power of one man. That's why we find what's going on in South Sudan today. There is no solution because the branches that are not working and power and one man control it. So the people, they will suffering. That's very simple. Addition to that, we have all embassies, South Sudan embassies in different country. You know, sometimes if you don't go to the meeting, like a security meeting inside those country, or you can be invited to go to liberate what facing your people, I think that's why we find out also embassies, they don't have any solution for the problem. So لما نشوف الوضع الموجود حاليا جنوبين تعبانين في كل مكان ده نتيجة لحاجة واحد بس اللي هو حكومة ما قادر يعمل الواجب بتاعه ومواطن ما قادر يلقى حقوق بتاعه. بالتالي الناس بقى شنو؟ يعني انت كان انسان عايش بدون ما يكون عنده شنو؟ بلده اللي هو بمعنى ادق انت اللاجئ. المفروض يكون في قوانين اللي بخلي اللاجئ يعمل له حمايه، قوانين بتاع حمايه بتاع اللاجئين في كل الدول موجود. لكن لو ما في اي واحد من السفاره ذاته بمشي بشوف القوانين دي ويجي يقولوا لحكومه البلد اللي هم قاعدين فيه زي اللي حصل في مصر، انا متاكد اي جنوبي بعد يومين حتسمعوا ذات العمل للاطفال ده بسيط. هيكون في اكتر من كده هيجي. وده كمان ما شفنا فيديو بتاع ناس كينيا يمكن الظروف هم فيه ما قادر يعملوا فيديو ولا ما قادر يخشوا اونلاين عشان يرسل لنا حاجات اللي قاعد يحصل لهم هناك. بنفس الكيفيه في يوغندا وفي الكيفيه في اثيوبيا. ومشكلتنا الاكبر انه القاعدين في السفارات ذاته هم عارفين شغلهم. يا تلقى بمشي في سفاره هناك ويقعد في الكمبيوتر ويلعب كشتينه زي ما شفناه كالعاده، يعني من الناس اللي ما عندهم برنامج دائما ابدا، وبعد شويه يرجع في البيت بتاعه جاي من الشغل. لكن الحقيقه الحاجات اللي حصل يوم ده المفروض يجي واحد من السفاره يعمل انترفيو مع اعلام بتاعت العالم كله على اساس شنو يوضع الحاجه اللي حاصل، وينادي اللاجئين دي ذاته يعمل لهم بريف، لانه في قوانين فعلا اتفرضت نتيجه للمرض الموجود. يعني زي حظر التجول اللي قاعد يحملوه في دول ثانيه. المفروض اللاجئين يكونوا واعيين، اذا كانوا هم ما عندهم اكسس للاعلام بتاع البلد ديل، لازم يكون في كمان دور بتاع السفاره على اساس يوريهم او يطلع لهم بيانات، او يكون عندهم كونكشن في محلات ثانيه، مثلا يعمل حاجه زي سفاره جنوب السودان. يعني مثلا داير يوعي الشعب بتاع جنوب السودان في اي دوله هم فيه. ده المفروض يكون ده حاجات بتاع واجب بتاع الموظف الموجود اللي بيصرفوا قروش بتاع الشعب، لانه القروش الموجود في جنوب السودان ده اصلا ده جاي باسم بتاع الشعب، ده ميزانيه بتاع الشعب. لما الشعب يكون تعبان المفروض القاعد يلقى قروش يعمل نفسه كانه ده قروش بتاعه، ده ما قروش بتاعه، القروش بتاعه ده ادوه له على اساس تعمل شغل، لكن هم ما قادر يعمل الشغل لان اساسا واحد بيجيبه في الشغل ما فاهم معنى الشغل اللي هو ماشي يعمل شنو. ده المشكلتنا الاكبر. بالتالي نرجع كل اي حاجه للحكومه. وهو ما شغال ولا قادر ذاته يوجه شنو الموظفين بتاعهم على اساس يعملوا الشغل بتاعهم، ولا قادر ذاته هو يعرف الداير شنو، لكن بس هو عارف يعمل الجوبه ده وبعد كده يرفع السلطه بتاعه في المحل اللي هو قاعد فيه. فالمهم مشكلتنا اكبر من اللازم، ونحن القاعدين في الدياسبرا نشكر ربنا عندنا اكسس ل ميديا كتير. فلو واحد سمع اي مشكله حاصل في السودان، في مصر، في اي دوله من دول الجوار، في اهانه للشعب الجنوب السودان، يا اخي اعمل بوست لحاجه دي وبعد كده نجي شنو نوري عالم، عندنا فرصه نوري عالم الحاجات اللي قاعد يحصل للشعب بتاعنا. ما في اي واحد هيكون مبسوط لما تشوف الفيديو المثير كده. سيبك من نحن قاعدين نتكلم عن الجنوبيين، لكن كده شوف مصريين، في مصريين طلعوا للنتيجه اللي شنو، لانه فيديو مشى وصل لهم. انا متاكد في ناس عندهم قلوب بتاعت يعني الناس مؤمنين بحاجات بتاع ربنا، لو حاجه ده وصل له هو هيجي يقول الحقيقه، والحقيقه ده هيوصل للمكان اللي نحن دايرينه. والمهم حاجه الاهم نحن دايرين نركز عليه، انه على اساس الحاصل في الجنوبيين اللاجئين في الدول الثانيه ده، نحن لازم نكون يعني نعمل تنسيق معهم، نشوف مشاكلهم بالضبط كده، وكمان يكون في طريقه مننا كمان نوصل لناس يو ان، لانه يو ان اصلا ده دوله كبير كمان يعني داخل الدول، المفروض يعمل حمايه للناس زي ده لما يحصل حاجات زي ده، ناس يو ان يدخلوهم ويخليه يخشوا. فنحن عندنا فرصه هسه نتكلم في الموضوع ده، ان فعلا ده نعمل ادانه، ما يكون ادانه بس عشان في حاجه في السوشيال ميديا، لازم يكون عندنا جواب هنكتبه، والجواب ده يمشي للناس يو ان الموجودين في هيد كوارتر بتاعهم ده في نيويورك، وبعد ده يمشي يوصل لمصر، وبعد كده ذاته يقدر يعمل الضغط لليو ان الموجود في مصر، وبعد كده المهم مش تفرق جنوب السودان، نحن ما عارفين بالضبط كده في مصر هل فعلا شغال ولا ما شغال، او السفير الموجود هو فاهم شغله ولا ما فاهم شغله. لو فاهم شغله المفروض يطلع في الميديا يوضح الحاجات الحاصل ده بالضبط، دورهم شنو هسه في الوقت الحالي. لكن اذا كان هو ما قادر يفهم حاجه زي اللي يكون، ونحن القاعدين برا نعمل علينا. وشكرا، انا برجع لكم يا جماعه.
Thank you, thank you. Now, Brother William, this is your turn.
Mabor,
Yes.
Mabor, can I just take 1 second before William come to answer what author said? If the embassy, the South Sudan embassy in Egypt is working, this I just want to clarify that the South Sudan embassy in Egypt is working, and the ambassador is in Egypt. Author, thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Like Otto said it all. We have an issue, and I'm very glad that Dalarjin he threw things on the street, and then it's kind of he always put himself into it. He mentioned 4 people, so which means he's one among the people that if the ICC came today, so they are the only 4 that he think are the people who caused the war in Juba. Thanks. We know one among the people because he said only 4 people who was the first people who is starting the war. Thank you very much for you, Don Arjun. One day we knew now that the people who caused war only 4 people, but it went and killed civilians. So you guys will give the answer to that with ICC when it comes one day. Thank you. Brother William, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome, Muto and Juju. Yeah, I will go because Mabur asked a question already and also answered it. Yeah, so I will just appeal to our brother and sisters اللي هو اخواتنا ولا اخوانا في مصر وفي يوغندا وفي السودان وفي كينيا وين ما يكونوا. انا كلنا كنا لاجئين. انا كنت لاجئ في لبنان ب 15 سنه ونص، لكن انا زوجت هناك وفي أنا الله رزقني ب3 أولاد هناك، وما جاء ساكت 15 سنة، ده ماشي سهل جدا. أنا لو لعبت فيديو إنيا أنتوا عم بتشوف النضال بتاع الجنوبي، لأنه نحن مناضلين كلنا. يعني يمكن أنا دخلت في السجن 3 مرات، وكل دخولي في السجن أنا قاعد نقول يمكن الله يوشعلني هناك بالسبب. أول دخول لي في السجن اللي هو 94، بس عندي 13 يوم في لبنان، حدي للتغيرات كبيرة جدا في نظام بدا السجون في لبنان. وكلام ده موجود في فيديو. حتى لو في واحد أبونا كنا شغال معه اسمه أولبرت من هولندا، كان من الناس اللي وقفوا مع السودانيز. وكنا أنا جيت للكندا في الحفلة بتاع وداع في الفيديو أنا قلت لكم ده، هو قام فوق الكلام وقال أنا ديل نشكر ويليام، كرا أخوانا ديل ده وين ما يكونوا يسمع الكلام ده. أنا ديل نشكر الويليام ب3 أسباب. السبب الأول، نحن بروتستانت مع الأخوان الكاثوليكيين، أننا بقينا شغالين كتيم كشريك واحد بسبب ويليام. وده كان مفاجأة بالنسبة لي، وكده أنا لقيت إن الجماعة ديل متقسمين sectarians، طائفية في لبنان، وأنا قدرت إني مثلا نجمعهم كلهم إني يشتغلوا في يد واحد. فقال بالسبب ده أنا بقول شكرا لويليام. وقال لي، قال قدام الناس كله موجود في فيديو، قال أنا لما ننظر في بلد بتاعي في هولند، قال مقسوم بالجزر اللي هو نو بالريفرز. بعدين هولند قال is connected by bridges. قال أنا لما نشوف ويليام هو a bridge builders، لأنه is building bridges between people and even the government. وقال the second thanks is because قال حكومة لبنانية كان في ناس موتوا كتير في السجون، لكن بسبب بتاع ويليام بقينا شركاء مع حكومة بتاع لبنان. وكان في سجن اسمه، لو كان في ناس في لبنان كان في سجن اسمه آمن العام، ده كله عملوه بجود بتاعنا. I cannot say it myself, but I can say it كان ده بداية بتاعنا مع اخواننا. شفت كيف؟ فأنا ده نقول للجماعة ديل في مصر والفي وين إني مثلا أنتم مناضلين، كلام اللي قاله توصل ده يخطوها. يمكن إدوارد قال كلام ده يوم ده، أنظموا أنفسكم. No government that can help you. وأجان وكده أنا كنت في لبنان، يمكن أنا مشيت لأنه قاعدين حملت الرحيل للناس اللي بيقولوا قال دايرين يرجعوا للسودان، فبقى في وثيقة للسفر، لازم أنا أمشي السفارة السودانية ونطلعه. مشيت الليست يا إخوة، الليست بتاع الناس كلهم آلاف السودانيز كلهم، لما أنت تشوفه كلهم زي ده مثلا بيقول خلصة 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 خلصة، معناه إن الدخول غير قانوني في لبنان. لا يوجد جريمة، ما في ولا جريمة إن السوداني ماشي سرق والسوداني ماشي قتل والسوداني ماشي كذب، بس كلسة 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 كلسة. أوكي، وكلام ده أنا وكده أنا كنت في السجون، أنا دخلت السودانيز في انضراب عن طعام لمدة 21 يوم. أنا قلت ما فيها واحد أيا نطلع ميتين أيا يكون فيها نتيجة. جبرنا حكومة لبنانية، وأنا وكده عملنا مفاوضات مع حكومة لبنانية عشان إن مثلا نحاكل وهم يجيب لنا حل. أنا كنت الرئيس بتاع 3 مجموعة شالوا عشان يتكلموا مع حكومة، وكده جاء حكومة يتكلموا معنا. أنا سألت 2 سؤال، قلت له أنتوا هو العساكر كلهم منكم في مسيحيين. اسمعوا كلام ده كويس. ومنكم في مسلمين. أننا موجودين في السجون بتاعكم عشان جينا بخلصة في بلد بتاعكم. نعم نعتذر لذلك. لكن أنا هسألكم سؤال. إذا كان واحد دير ينقص حياته ويجري لشخص ويطلب مساعدة منه، إذا كان ده جريمة، إذن الجريمة ده ما بلش معانا نين السودانيس. إذا كنت المسيح الملاكي angels of God وكيد كينج إيرود جاء قال داير يقتل كل أطوال كله عشان يخلص من رب يسوع. An angel came and tell Yusuf قال شيل الجنة مع أم ماريا وامشي شيله للمصر في إفريقيا. إذا كنت المسيح أنتم موجودين هون ساكر بتاع اللبنانيين هون واقفين هون، لأنهم واقفين برا ورئيس بتاعه مدير بتاع السجون واقف قدامه ونينا في داخل السجن زي ده. هل ده كان جريمة بالنسبة للأنجل اوف جاد يقول ليوسف وماري إنه يمشي يحارب للمصر؟ أساكر كله كان بيعملوا راسه زي ده. طيب إذا كان أنت مسلم اللي بيقولوا إجرية اليوم ده بلش وقت محمد، نبي محمد طلب من the followers، وقت كان في persecution في مكة والمدينة، وقال له يلا هاخدوا امشي عملوا هجرة للعبش. ده الهجرية الموجودة اليوم. ده كان جريمة بالنسبة للنبي محمد يقول للناس انه يمشي للمكان تاني. اللبنانيين كله اساكر المدير بتاعهم كله قال يا ويليام ده المدير الله يخليكم، خليكم تاكلوا سرا اكلوا وعائلنا 3 اشخاص ونين نتفوضوا معهم اديني اسبوع بس، لو ما عملنا شيء عملوا اللي انتوا دايرين. خلاص وافقنا. في وارثهم الجلبيت يمكن في جوبا من اولاد جوبا كان في السجن، نينا كونا 3 اشخاص والفوضى مع الجماعه ديل في السجن. بس كان كلام واحد في المفاوضات بتاعنا معهم. قلت له السودانيز ديل ده اشرف منه ما في كل في الدنيا. الشركات الوهميه الموجوده هسه بيقولوا ويندو كلينرز وما بعرف وكده وسموهم مطاعم وما ما بعرف والبيوت وكده وبتاع، يعني اللبنانيين بطلوا قروش ورا السودانيز مظبوط، لانه موظفين they are very يعني إني مثلا انت تطمن بالك. ده الكلام بقوله اللبنانيين لما تشتغل السوداني. طيب انتوا ليه اني جماعه ديل؟ لانه انتوا واحد من شغلوا في لبنان لو قبضوني انا دخلوني في السجن بيجي صاحب الشغل بقول يا اوطو لو في زول ويليام ما في، لو في زول صديق امشي جيب اوطو بجيب زول وخلاص ويليام ده راح. فانا طلبت من الحكومه قلت له انتم ما دام اني من الجماعه ديل كويسين حكومه ما بتستفيد منه والسوداني ما بتستفيدين، هو شركات الكذابين يوم مستفيدين. ليه انتم ما تسجلوا شركه يشتغلوا سودانيين؟ من كلام ده بس ما في نقاش كتير. فكرة طوال طلع كويس معهم وطلع فيه ضابط متقاعد بتاع من العام اتصلوا معه بتليفون وقال شال المسؤولية ده. يا السوداني لقى إقامات في لبنان. السجن صار سجن مظبوط. أننا بنقول لأنفسنا إن مثل حكومة داخل الحكومة، يعني موبايل government whether government because كنا قويين كتير جدا. سفارة السودانية تقول لكم الشعب بتاعكم شعب ذهب. وكده انا مشيت في السفاره قلت له شوفون خلصه في اي جريمه وانت نمنينا نروح السجن في عمل جريمه مع امه مع اخته مع مين وقتل مين وقتل مين، ده جريمه منين بنلقاهم من الجنسيات الثانيه. اما الجنسيات السودانيه خلصه 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 خلصه، ده ما جريمه. بس انتوا الخيم بتاع السودانيز انتوا ما فاضين فوق كحكومه. انا كنت بتكلم مع القنصليه، فانا ده الكلام. انا مثلا اشياء كثيره جدا، بس انا داير نقول انه مثلا يس، مثل ما قال اوباما يس وي كان، وي كان. حكومة بتاعنا ما فاضي عليكم، زي ما جرماي ذكر قبل ومشتغل باله باشياء قبليه، ما كان فاضي. كل ما حيكون فاضي عمره. فانا بضم صوتي لكلام اللي قاله اوتو، وانا بقول لكم في اشياء ثلاثه اشياء. 1. increase your advocacy. increase your advocacy. شوف سورين يوم داك كمان وقت ما جابوا كورينهم، صوت بتاعهم هز العالم كله، هز العالم كله. يقفلوا الباب قدامهم، يكسروا الباب ده. هن ولا في حكومة في وراهم، ما في كله. انتوا قادرين ان مثلا انتوا تقوموا فوق وتحلوا مشاكل بتاعكم. زي ما انا قلت لكم قبل شويه، كنا حلينا مشاكل بتاعنا في لبنان. for increase your advocacy اللي هو نشاطات بتاع الدفاع لانفسكم، زيدوها. and then rally yourself. rally yourself. ما تقول ان مثلا الكلام بقوله في جوب ده ولا في وين مثلا قبائل وكده وبتاع، لانه انتوا بتشوفوا ان مثلا السودانيز مثل بعضهم، مثل بعض، ما في فرق كله. so لذلك you have to rally yourself because for the common goal. common goal هون هو شنو؟ هو الحماية لأنفسكم. لأنه إذا ما في توقفوا مع بعضكم، هذا دنكا وهذا شلكا وهذا نويراو وكذا وبتاع مصريين ولا يوغنديين ولا مين ما بيشوفوا زي بكون كل الجنوبين كلهم بيحسبوكم مثل واحد. لذلك to rally yourself for the common goal to protect yourself. This is one thing. Number 2. Number 3, you have to research. It's very very important. أظن أغلب ناس فيكم متعلمين كله على مستوى الجامعات، حتى لو أولادكم متعلمين كله. وصل الزمن ده زي ما قال أوطو، الإنترنت شغالة ولا الكاميرات شغالة، حتى لو التلفونات هنا شغالين. هو الجريمة بنفسه، هو بالصور كله أي شيء. Make a research about and document all type of the abuses اللي بيحصل لكم هناك. مين شال الأورجن بتاعه، مين عمل له كده. You have to document it. كل الجرائم الركبوت ضدكم and then share it. This data. Share it with United Nations الموجودة هناك. Share it with the قسم بتاع United Nations human right commissioner. Okay, بتاع United Nations موجودين في مصر وموجودين برا كمان. Okay, this is very very important. And then Amnesty International, share it with them also. What other many organizations. Don't underestimate yourself. You can do, and you can cry out and people can hear you. You can cry out like Surin and people can hear you. But if we become like a sheep, not like a goat, but a sheep, nobody will hear us. So this is what I can share with you. And then lastly, you don't do it yourself. Like Nine Nation Network موجود هون، ممكن يشتغلوا معكم. القنوات there are other social Southern Sudanese social media موجود، مثل صوت الشعب بتاع إدوارد، بتاع تريزا، بتاع كيركويا، بتاع كتير، بتاع شارلز، كلهم موجودين. and then نينا كمان ممكن نجمع أنفسنا. شفت كيف؟ and then we coordinate together، نتحركوا سوا. okay، كده أنينا فينا ننقص أنفسنا، بدلين مثلا نقول للكير إنه يجي يساعدنا، لأنه ربنا أوريدي في الحديث اليوم إن مشكلة بتاع الإساءة للشخصية الجنوبية هو ضعف للحكومة بتاعنا. إذن شنو أنا استفيد من الحكومة ده غير ما إني مزن نقوم فوق لأنفسنا. وده كلام أنا داير نقوله لكم. و... وأنا داير نتكلم عن النظام بتاع برلمان بعد شوية، بس يمكن أنا كلمت كتير شوية عشان الناس تاني يشيلوا فرصة. لما يجيني فرصة أنا بتكلم في الكلام ده. وشكرا مبور.
Yeah, thank you, William, for this advice. It's a very great advice. This is the solution that we are looking for. What should be the solution, and that's now we are coming to solution conclusion because time is running out for us now. So when someone is talking, put your input. What need to be done? And this is what we needed. Exactly. Thank you for giving that solution. And this is what we need. We will stand for them. And also too, time for you, Jeremiah. And it's your turn now. Thank you.
Uh, thank you very much, Mabor. Yeah, رسالة للناس القاعدين جنوبين اللي قاعدين هنا. أنا بنقول لهم خلهم يوعدوا نفوسهم هناك كجنوبين، كقبيلة واحد ما زي قبائل. بنا أوعد يكون تمام، يكون تمام، يناقش النفوس عن الطريقة forward. I'm trying to say let them have dialogue among themselves, as William has said, and let them identify exactly the kind of support they need, either from the government of South Sudan or from the diaspora community. They have to state it clearly. And again, let them to look for lawyers if there is something to be done at the legal level. People can look for a lawyer in Egypt or outside Egypt to highlight all the violations against the right of the people of South Sudan in Egypt. And that one, we need money. I would like those one in diaspora here to contribute for any court case which may arise in Egypt in the interest of our people in Egypt. We have to take responsibility for that. And also we have to find a way, if the government has turned blind eyes to his own people mistreatment in Egypt, if there is a avenue also at the level of human rights level, government also, if there is a chance, government should be held accountable for that, because you cannot just claim you are responsible for the people and you don't respond when the rights are violated in another country. They are your children, you are their father. So whatever happens, it is you to look after your people in exile or within the country. This is what I can say. Most of things have been said by brother William, and we in diaspora sometimes we don't talk in one voice. So I do recommend if the community leaders here in diaspora could come together and make a consultation if there is a way they can support. Yeah, we in diaspora, we have now a connection with the government. I think we cannot advise the government on what to do. That kind of government will never listen to any advice of anyone apart of advice come from within. We have nothing to do with the government because government also has problem with those who are in diaspora here. Like the way we are discussing now, they wish this is they could have been in South Sudan, we could have dealt with them. This is the way they think now. And they don't know that to fix the nation, as people have been saying, fixing South Sudan, it needs many people to be involved, not just government alone or not the ministers. Now, civil population, civil societies, diaspora community, you know, and uh, people of goodwill from different countries. They are the one who normally try to assist the government. I mean, to stand on its own feet. But our government is not listening. It's listening for those who are saying, okay, for us to survive, we have to do this, we have to do that, we have to do this, we have to do that. You know, that looking where they can get support for their power, for them to be in power. They're looking for political support from those who are abusing our people. They're looking for, like I said before, military support from those who are abusing our people. That everything. So this made them not to react when our people are mistreated from the neighboring countries. This is what I can say to those one in Egypt. They have to do more by persuading those one in diaspora to unite those one in diaspora in their support, and they have to identify it. Let me repeat again. If there is something to do with legal cases, we need attention of those one in diaspora. I need something to do like money, and this is what I can say. And thank you back to you, Mombo.
Thank you, brother, for putting input and make it short because time now is time to close within. I give only 30 minutes from now, so we will be closing the show. Now, Sister Jojo, is your time, and we need your input for the solution, what need to be done. And thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I think some of the solutions that have been put out here, I I disagree with some of the solutions. You know, I've been in Egypt. I came from Egypt. You know, I've been in Egypt, back and forth Sudan, back and forth Khartoum, Egypt. I think I've been in Egypt 3 times before I came to the diaspora. So most people that have been in Egypt, they know how it is. When we were there, it's kind of different. But now the stories that we hear, South Sudanese people, even our own people, the youth, doing crimes and hurting our own South Sudanese people, you know. I agree with some points that William have said that in Syria and Lebanon it might work, but in Egypt it's kind of is different. I always refer to Egyptians during the time of Moses. You know, Egyptians chased Israelites, the chosen nation by God, out of Egypt. You know, who are we South Sudanese? You know, Egyptians are the mean people ever. And their lawyers and their judges, they're the most corrupt. If you go to, like, you know, let me say in Arabic, you know, how musalsalat يعني احنا بنحضر مسلسلات في خرطوم ولا في جوبا, you know, يعني زي في المسلسلة. Their lawyer is very corrupt. You take your stuff, your case to the court, you will never get anything. You know, it's just sad that the United Nations has turned blind eye to the people of South Sudan. in Egypt, especially in Egypt. When you go even to United Nations, they will do nothing. You know, it's just sad that our people are stuck in Egypt. Some people don't have cases. I usually encourage, they think because we are outside here, we encourage them to go back home. I usually say, if you don't want to go to South Sudan, go back to Khartoum, because staying in Egypt, it's tough. And when William talked about they were jailed in Lebanon, right, in Beirut, Egyptians prison, like we hear, is the worst prison ever. If you go to prison, you disappear. Some people even, they are not found. People get lost in the يعني في ناس وضعوا رزاته في السجن. They cannot be found, they disappear. Maybe they were killed or something. You don't wish to go to an Egyptian jail. It's very tough. Most people in Egypt, they know it. Some relatives disappear there. And the problems of kidneys and organs in Egypt is known. If you go alone, taxi driver can take you. They can take you somewhere, your kidneys is taken. There was a video, I think, a couple of years, 2-3 years ago, or last year, a young kid, he's like 6 or 7 years. It's a Sudanese kid. The women are pulling the kid, the Egyptians are dragging the kid because they want to take his organs. Yani, in front of everybody. So the women are crying. Hey, they want to take the kid's kidney. They are stealing his organ. So the women, they successfully drug, they pull the kid and then they ran. And the guys ran away, And Egyptians are overpopulated. And the most Sudanese that live there, they don't have visas. They live illegal. Even they are scared. Because if you get caught, you will be taken to jail. And you might be deported too, So your rights in Egypt, you cannot get it. I encourage advocacy, but South Sudanese have to go to the South Sudan embassy. Let them get out there and make noise. Let the ambassador do something. I feel this is the only way, because Egyptians, they will threaten you. The mother of the kid that was the video that went viral. I think they threaten them now. So they made the kids deny that nothing is being done to them. See? That's why they're losing the case. The judge said there's no witness, there's no proof. So Egyptians are very tricky. They're very smart, and they defend their own because they love their country. They can kill for their country, So Sudanese people too, I see Sudanese too making crimes. The youth, like I said before, they cut people with machete. We too, we need to acknowledge our own. Some people don't like it to be said. I heard one video, one guy from Egypt, he made a video. He said when the ambassador and the representative of the government of South Sudan, when they went, the Egyptian went and showed videos of what South Sudanese are doing in Egypt. They said the South Sudanese representative was ashamed and they left. See? So even Egyptians have proof that South Sudanese are doing more crimes in Egypt than them. So it's just sad. It's sad when we see all that. To me, the only solution, like Nigerians, if Egyptians beat them, they beat Egyptians in Abuja or in Lagos. This is the only way out. If I am sorry, I'm advocating for that, but it can solve a problem. This kid's been beaten, beat somebody, or go to South Sudan, to Egyptian embassy in South Sudan. Go make some noise over there to the ambassador, because Egyptians would never stop. They never stop. They pour water on people. Mullah Khudra, they pour on people from up. They call you names, you know. So it's not easy to just go to get even the police. Somebody will bribe the police will change. The statement will be changed. And now the kids that all these abuses happen to them, the bad thing that they expose them. People from diaspora expose their faces. Now their lives are in danger because Egyptians can attack them anytime, you know. So it's just sad. I don't know what to say, but it's hard. It's better somebody go back home. You know, you go back home, you deal with Salva Kiir back home. It's better than staying in Egypt. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Because I was in Egypt by exchanging the plan. I never been in Egypt. It's only exchanging the plans and boarding, exchanging the plan, boarding to come to Western world. That's what I should claim that I was in Egypt for. It's just a matter of 3 hours in Egypt. I never been inside Egypt. So in that case, Egyptian, like you mention it and say they chase people of
Hello, Walmabur.
Lights, yeah.
They chase people of Israel to out from the country. So who are we? That's true. That's true. Who are we? Exactly. But everything we have to give it to God. And advocacy in Western world here will be the only solution, not themselves, because I do feel. But I grew up in a country that nobody mind for you. When you are a refugee, you can even go and cut the tree, and nobody will say anything, which is Ethiopia. I always admire Ethiopia very much, although they have a grudges that when you don't have anything, you cannot get water. But at least you are safe. Nobody will say anything to you. But if you don't have any single tarifa, you will be dying with hunger or you will be dying with thirsty. You know, but security-wise, no problem. That's what I know from Ethiopia. I give that credit to them. Brother Otto, put your point with a conclusion, because time now we left for only 20 minutes and we will be closing the topic. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mobor. I think we really talk about the topic, although we just want to wrap it up. But overall, we need to give our vision or solution to what we just discussed now. عشان واحد يقدر يقول الكلام بيجيب الحل المشكله الموجوده اصلا. لما عرفنا المشكله نحن دايرين حل بتاعه شنو. فانا بتفق مع اخو جوجو. You know, sometimes لما تمشي تقول ده مثلا ده تشتكي زول، لازم تعرف خلفيه بتاعك قبل ما تمشي تشتكي. فعلا عرفنا فيديو ان المصريين عملوا حاجات كاف في مصر، لكن من قال اسمه السفير بتاع جنوب السودان من مشى في يعمل اسمه يعني يعمل انفستيجيشن في القضيه، لقى المصريين ذات عندهم فيديو بتاعهم. اذا هنا داير شنو؟ واحد يكون حريص عشان انت ما تخش في وضع الحرجه زي اللي حصل للسفير، لانه فعلا سمينا كتير إن العيال بتاعنا في مصر عندهم مشاكل كمان. ده الحقائق لازم نعرفه. مصريين ما بلعبوا يوم تقول يا أخي تعمل حاجة بفيديو، هم كمان هيمشي يعمل فيديو بتاعهم. يلا بعد شوية بيجي عملية بتاع ده منو عنده، ده منو مواطن وده منو ما مواطن، هياخد دور بتاعه. بالتالي مشكلتنا هسه دايرين حل للمشكلة الموجود في مصر أو اللاجئين الموجودين في محلات تانية. الحل الوحيد الموجود لازم يكون في عملية بتاع شنو؟ ينظموا أنفسهم. إذا كان في جزء منهم زي ما بقولوا لو في بصل كاف وسطهم، لازم يطلعوا برا على أساس ده بصل الكاب وده بصل الكويس، على أساس الجماعة اللي لما يجي ما يشوفوهم كأنهم هم كعبين كلهم. فالمهم الحل الوحيد خليه يكون عندهم لجان. اللجان الموجود حاليا لازم يكون في لجان بتاعت الكوميونيتيز، لانه في بعض المحلات الناس ما عارفين البعض، لكن لما يكون في لجان بيحل المشاكل الموجود. لو هم ارتكبوا الجريمه يعملوا ريبورت بنفس الكيفيه ان فلان ارتكب الجريمه. اما لو في واحد جاء ارتكب جريمه ضدهم، بعد كده هم كمان يعملوا ريبورت ان في مصري او اثيوبي او كيني او يوغندا عمل ارتكب جريمه ضد الجنوبي او من الكوميونتي كده. فانا بشجع ان الليدر بتاعت الكوميونيتيز هم لازم يجي على مستوى بتاعت القبائل، وبعد القبائل يمشي يكونوا اللجنه العليا، واللجنه العليا ده يتابع حاجات كثير موجود في مصر. حتى لو بقى قضيه بتاع عيال بتاعنا ذاته خليه يمشي يبلغوا للبوليس، على اساس البوليس يتعامل مع عيال ديل، على اساس بكره لما يحصل المشكله ما يجي يشملهم كلهم. ده الحاجات البسيطه واحد داير يقولوا للاخوان الموجودين في مصر وفي المحلات الثانيه ان فعلا يكون في لجان يشتغلوا في حاجات زي ديل. لما تعمل دوكيومنتد لاي حاجه، مثلا توثق اي حادث الحاصل، لازم تعرف نفسك كمان ان في لو انت عملت حاجه مضاد لحاجه انت قاعد تعمل فيه هيوثقوه كمان بنفس الكيفيه، وبعد كده هيكون في دلائل، واي دليل قدام المحكمه اصلا انسان اللي ارتكب الجريمه والدليل موجود هو مخلطان. ده ما داير له اي نقاش، ولا ما داير له واحد مثلا يجي بكره يقول يا اخي انت ما وقفت معي. نحن نجيب معك لو عندك حق، لكن لو ما عندك حق ما في حاجه، ما في واحد بيجيب معك، انما نخليك القانون يتعامل معك بطريقه هم دايرينه. فالوضع الموجود للاجئين لازم لما تكون لاجئ في صوت. حتى لما كنا في مدارس زمان نضمع اصوات في نشيد بتاع صرخ اللاجئ وحاجات ديل، لازم يكون انت تصرخ، يعني تقول الحاجه اللي انت قاعد تمر بها. لو في مشكله ارفع صوتك، انا متاكد بسمعه، ناس يو ان زاد بقدر يخشوا معك. لكن من ما قاعد ترفع صوتك انا متاكد ما في اي واحد بقدر شنو يجيب معك. والمهم هل قدرنا نقول لاخواننا هناك كونوا لجان، وفعلا خليكم تكونوا حريصين على اساس الحاجات اللي انتوا قاعد تعملوا كاب يجيف اولا، وبعد كده تتكلموا في حاجات اللي بعملوا ضدكم. ففعلا موسف فيديو اللي كان حاصل جنى صغير ما عنده اي فكره ذاته عن الداير وما كان عارف نفسه، لكن نشكر ربنا انه بقي شنو لسه حي. هيعيش بأثر بتاع الحاجات دي في راسه، لكن بكره ان شاء الله نتمنى ان ربنا يخش في حياه بتاعه واخواته اللي كان حصل لهم الحاجات اللي ما كويس، وشفناه كمان هم بكوركوا. فعلا الانسان ما في انسان بكور بدون ما يكون شنو الم جوا قلبك، فحاجه مؤسف. فالمهم نايل نيشن نتورك وانتوا شايفينه، وفي ميديا تاني لو في اي مشكله امشي في فيسبوك تابعنا هناك، ونحن كمان موجودين في واتساب وعندنا ماسنجر، كل دول موجودين. راسل لنا اي حاجه حصل لك، خد في فيديو في اي حاجه ونحن هنجيب معك، وان شاء الله حق بتاعك هيجي. وانا برجعه لاخونا مبير.
Thank you, Brother Otto, for this minute. Now we remain with 15 minutes, and that 15 minutes, Brother Dalarjin, I give you 3 minutes, and this 3 minutes, please, I don't want you to go out from there. We are coming to conclusion of what can we do to those abuse that have been done in Kenya and Uganda, and Ethiopia and Sudan and Egypt. What can we do? What is the solution? That's the only thing that we are talking about. We are not going out from Bran. And thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, first of all, I was just going out to check out on thing, and you guys, you were on the line. I thought you were coming, and when I come, and then I will get you going. But it's okay if you are about to conclude. What I will give on my conclusion on this topic is that, for you to solve a problem, you need to identify the cause, because in this world there cannot be any effect without a cause. Never. Any problem, they must have a cause somewhere. This is scientifically proved. And for you to get a solution, you wanted to actually to eliminate the cause. So for me, the cause of this problem that we run to Kenya, we run to Uganda, we run to Egypt, and there's still problem. We have the problem in South Sudan. It's still a problem. For me, is a simple. The cause is that we actually turning away from God. We are doing things according to ourselves, and this is a big problem. So
I'm asking for solution. I'm not asking to go to another's cause. What can we do to the people that are suffering now? That's what we are talking about now. We are not talking about political. Political, we already went through it.
That is what I'm coming to. I'm saying.
Yeah. I don't want you to go back. Who killed who and who done what? Or Mabor was chasing me away, or he was helping me. That's what I'm not talking about. I'm talking about what can we do to these people, not me, and not you, and not political. Simple as that.
Yeah. For me, what we need to do to these people is, number one, is actually to pray for them. Number one. Okay. That is number one. Pray for them so that at least they can have peace, and pray for them. They can know that they need God. They need to turn away from their world.
When you become a priest, please. What day you become a priest?
He mute himself.
No, I mute him.
Mabor, he needs to unmute.
Hold on. Listen, one.
Leave him to explain.
One of misconception from people who are not Christian, who pretend to be Christian, is that they think that the only person who know thing about God is a priest. Those people, they know nothing about the Bible. Actually, I have a lot of priests that I have been talking to. They knows nothing, zero. So don't think that a priest is the one who know thing about the Bible. Christian, they don't read the Bible, and that's their problem. So they think that you can know God by praying or by going to church. Wrong. That's why you turn away from God. You are doing things that are not in the Bible. And that's what I call turning away from God. Because God wants you to know him. If at all we know God, we the South Sudanese, you're supposed to know that the peace we are looking is in the Bible. It's not from me, it's not from Kenya. We're supposed to know that. But because we don't read the Bible, we are just Christian by pretending. That's why we don't know even where it is in the Bible. It is very clear. God claimed that the peace is for me, not for you. So it is available for people who are God people. It said it here in Colossians chapter 3. Let the peace of Christ, you see, let the peace of Christ rule in you, in your heart, to which indeed you are called one body. This is Bible, not me. Peace of Christ. It doesn't say peace of sulfur. It doesn't say peace of South Sudan or peace of Kenya. So that means peace is for God, is belong to God and is in the Bible. If you need it, then that means you need God. Simple. We have to be honest, my brother. We are telling the truth. Let's not try to push. Again, if you read Philippians chapter 4, a priest will not know this because they don't read the Bible. They just pretend. It says here, and the peace of God, which surpass all understanding, will grant your heart and your mind.
Yeah.
You see, it says peace of God. It doesn't say peace of Addis Ababa. So you see, everything is.
So brother Dolarjin, I will put this tomorrow. I will open you Nile Nation Network, and you will come and preach to the South Sudanese that they really need peace, and that peace will come to the Bible. Today we are talking about the issue of Egypt.
Is the issue of Egypt?
His solution, what I understand, he said the people, we as South Sudanese, we need to pray for our people in Egypt. So it's very clear. We need peace from God. Thank you, Dal. Yeah. Let us go ahead, Mabor. Yeah.
Well, his time finished anyway, so I give him only 5 minutes, but I give him 7 minutes now because I interrupted him twice. I gave him 2 minutes because I interrupted him twice. So I give you another minute, Don. Go ahead.
Yeah, basically, I think our sister here understand what I'm saying, and I don't blame people because these things, they are hidden. So God has hidden them for only people, for his people that he has chosen. So most of this knowledge is hidden in the Bible. So we need to understand it in order for us to solve a problem like that one of Egypt, like that one of South Sudan. We really need God and we need peace. The reason it's happening is because we don't have peace from ourselves. So in order for us to have peace, then the peace, what I wanted, the real peace, is in the Bible. You will never find peace in Addis Ababa. Never. You will always go and bring war. And when you bring war, people will run away from South Sudan looking for safety. They will think safety in America, safety in where, but it's still they will get problem there. Why? It's because they don't know God. So my people, let's turn to God if we need peace. Peace belongs to God, not human being. And it is in the Bible.
Mobile, just a minute, but Mobile.
Your time is up, no?
Okay, minute, but I just want to make a little comment about what he's saying.
Yeah.
Brother Elijah, thank you for bringing this. We need peace of God in Southern Sudan. But to be honest, sometimes there is something has to be solved by human. The human problem need a human solution. The God problem need a God solution. What are you saying? I think Southern Sudanese, they tried. Even Salva Kiir himself, he brought all priests. He went to Roma. Okay, he's searching for a God peace. But at the end of the day, I come to conclusion, what you're saying is true. We don't believe in God, because if we believe in God, why should all those people that they are well known in church list that there are most people who can pray with honest, but still we don't have a peace in Southern Sudan. So all the religion in Southern Sudan, they are praying 24/7, but I find out it's not the solution. The solution only
look here, my brother.
Left.
Look here, man.
We give you a minute before, sir. That's why.
Just second to Otto.
Don't always respect others. When you give any chance, I don't want nobody to interrupt you. And always you come and interrupt others. That's not fair to person who hosting the show. or to all those people to be attacked on their time. That's not fair. You can even see sometimes if people want to say something, I say, no, let that person put it. Please, this show is our all, including you, but do not interrupt it. Thank you. Go ahead now. You can go ahead now.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention something with our brother Otto. You know, I actually am a Christian. I'm a type of Christian that prove that God exists through Jesus Christ. Some of the Christian, I correct them because they don't have a knowledge of God. They think they believe from other texts that are not proof. One of the problem is that you are talking about Pope in Rome, about Salva Kiir running to people whom, because he cannot even learn, he doesn't know even this piece in the Bible, first of all. And he doesn't know that Catholic, the Roman, was actually the first people who persecuted the Christian, who persecuted the prophet. And they believe in Roman issue. So they don't believe in God, actually. These are the things that, you have to learn thing in order for
Okay,
you
brother,
to
your
be
time
able
finished.
to
Your
know
time
the
finished.
peace, the real peace you are talking about.
Your time finished, and thank you. You contributed a lot. Now only 3 minutes left. William, put that 3 minutes, and then we will close the show. And thank you.
Yeah, is
What about Jeremiah? You forgot to give Jeremiah some time
No, I already gave him a
to
time.
conclude.
Yeah,
conclusion. He didn't.
yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah.
You know why even William done the conclusion? What I'm trying to say, because he gave a request, he say he want to say something about a parliament or something. That's why I return him. Otherwise, everybody put the conclusion on. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, William.
Yeah, and thank you. In regard of what we are suggesting, I think let us be clear here that we are not going to raise allegation against the Egyptian people or against the Egyptian government that they did. What we're trying is just to try to give advice to our sister and brother in Egypt that if you remain silent, nobody can speak for you. So I think this is what we're trying to do here. We want them that to encourage them that they have to stand up for themselves, and we are living now in an evolved world that where technology is accessible to everybody. So just think about Kurdi, the Syrian voice who drowned in the sea in the Turkey. When that image has been shown to the world, that he's a hero for Syrian, because that image has been displayed throughout the world. You know, so if not, who care about the Syrian? You know, so this is the same thing we are telling our brother, that you have to stand up. The government is not there for you, and they will not listen to you. So stand up, make noise, and noise cannot come without organization. And we are divided along the line of tribalism. We have to denounce that because we are target. Yes, we can disagree that we will not come together on these issues, but on other issues, it's very important that we come. Like when it comes to the abuse, is everybody is being abused in Egypt, then there is a need for a common front to come together to achieve that. That is why we are encouraging them that you have to reunite together, and you are well educated, document whatever you have, record it, and then share it with the international organization like United Nations uh, departments, and also with your brother outside like ourselves here, and then that images or whatever the information you have, and then we display it together, it can really influence the whoever is abusing you. Yeah. Yes, I agree with some people who said that Egyptian, who are we? But I little bit want to make things clear here. What kind of Egyptian we are talking about now when we talk about Moses? He's a current Egyptian. Who was there? Pharaoh was not Egyptian, current Arab. I think Arab, they just got in the 7th century. This is the time the Arab conquered the Egypt. But before that, who was there? He's African. During the Moses, it was African. Even Hajar, the one who was married, Egyptian today, they said, Anina Omudunia. Why they are calling themselves Omudunia? Because they believe that Hajar was an Egyptian, is a Pharaoh daughter that has been married to Ismail. And Ismail was where the Arab, they are descended from Ismail. But how can you become the Umudunia, but the Arab, and then Pharaoh is not you? They just saying because they are now found themselves in Egypt, but they are not the Egyptian of ancient Egypt, you know. So we don't give much credit to Egypt that they were the current Egyptian that has been there. Even what they are doing to the pyramid today, they're even changing their status to look like them, you know. So it's not them. Is there was Kush? It was Kush land that time. Yeah. So we are not going again, brothers and sisters, to say, oh, our brother in Egypt, stand up, find a lawyer, and then fight the Egyptian government. No, we're trying to say, speak, and the world will listen. And your brother and sister in diaspora, they will help you in spreading the information or your suffering there, you know. And who knows, maybe the United Nations can find a way to get them out from Egypt that they are suffering. That would be the only solution, you know. But to say it, Egyptian, you doing this, no, it's not what we are trying to say. But they could be held accountable when we display images of what happened in Egypt. If we said, this is what happened in Egypt, Egyptians are taking organs from the people, and this is the proof, you know, they have a seat in the in African Union, you know. If those things are being shared throughout the world, I think it can influence their action, you know. Yeah, but let us encourage our brother, and it is up to them that if they want to suffer in silence, that is up to him. If they want to suffer divided, that this is from Nuer, this is from Danka or Shuluk, is up to them. But if they said, hey, you guys, this thing is fighting us all, let us cry together, let us document it, let us put all information and share it with our brother outside, share it with outside world. This is what we're trying to encourage them. Otherwise, no solution will come, and they need to get out from there. And the way to get out is to put pressure to the international organization like United Nations that this is our situation. Yeah. Syrian, as I said today, Syrian are they are everywhere now. Nobody advocate for them. They advocate for themselves on the way, marching. If you look, just try to search. If you look, the refugees together, waiting to enter wherever in Europe, which country in Europe, look, the Syrian refugees, Pakistani refugees, Sri Lanka refugees, and African refugees. When you saw those people, they are just like this. But Syrian, they are running after the microphone. They're speaking up, you know, and then they rescue themselves. This is what we're trying to say. We are not sheep. We are we can be like a goat to speak up, to cry. So thank you. This is what I want to add. In the term of the what I want to say, I think the time is over.
Time is already over.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we will make it as a next topic, I believe.
Mhm.
Thank you. The music, brother Simon.
Now you
Do
say Jeremiah can take 2 minutes, or what you just said? Oh, I must just misheard.
No. Well, yeah. If you want to say something, Jeremiah, just say something. Jeremiah, if you want to say something, just say something. If something you want to add.
Yeah, I want to say it is enough. We have already spoken, and we made our point, and just I am okay like this. Thank you very much. Back to you.
Thank you. Yeah. And
Okay.
Simon, please.
Yeah, Mabor. 1 minute. 1 minute, Mabor. I just want to say that I like that Duar Largen is preaching. That's why when he said some Bible verses, I agree, I just want to say when he read Philippians chapter 4, verses 6, that says that, and the peace that surpasses all understandings will guide your hearts and minds in Jesus Christ. Amen. Let us conclude with the word of God today. Thank you. Yeah.
That's good for ourselves and good for Lercho. Thank you.
جنوبين كل يوم موت لمتين يا اخوانا نقول سلام سلام 200 السلام ده يجي يلدونا في هروب ونربي في هروب وكمان نموت في هروب لكل جنوبي يموت قطعة من جنوبنا بيموت نجري لمتين ولوين ندي يالنا وندي أرواحنا وندي دمنا فضل شنو تاني أنا تعبان أنا ما شعبان لكن أنا بس تعبان أنا ما فرحان لكن أنا بس فتران أنا ما سكران لكن أنا بس كسران أنا ما كسران لكن أنا بس تعبان
Say we that big.
وهدو سلام مفروض يكون مفهوم يا في الجنوب ده سلا يكون حاجة مواطني ما يشوف يا بنية بونجوز يا حبوبة حاجات ما بفا في الجنوب ده قبلية جوا عنصرية جوا كراهية جوا قلب كبير جوا فساد جوا نغمة حاجات الناس جوا دو بويا صوت بجا في جيدة باب البازوكا جري لبتين جنوبيين قاعدين في كمبالا نيروبي UN أمريكا أستراليا سبين أي روكو دا دنيا جنوبي سي ليو بلدانا طالع no wisdom why sound the gun redundant like a head song I'm feeling so tired أنا تعبان
أنا طبعا من جري أنا طبعا من كاتولو أنا طبعا من كلمتين أنا طبعا من مشاكل طبعا لأني تاني سفيتري أنا كمان في تري تلقى ملاوتة وسوا سكبتنا جيان أنا طبعا مشاكل كربو بلد كالي النور بيضرب بلد
موت كل يوم في تلفون جنوب تانينا كربو نينا مالو دم كوبو أكو ياو كدلو أنا كبان في شنو
أنا مواتي جنوبي بسي